Hi everyone. Hi Miss G's. Hi Talene. Welcome to my second stream ever. Hi everyone. Yay, this is awesome. So let me know if you can't hear me or if it's too loud, too quiet, tech glitchy things. Just let me know in the chat. And yay. Oh, thanks, Miss Cheese. That's so awesome. Yeah. Thank you for watching the VOD. And thanks for joining. Hi, Bart. Hi, Bart. Yay, we get to hang online. Awesome. Hi, everyone. Hi, Wind, Water, and Flow. Hello. Hi, everyone. Come on in, come on in. A lot of people followed me over the past week. And especially yesterday after Brad did a shout out and Miss G's threw that in there. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. Thanks for joining me. Yeah, awesome. I'm the guy that talks funny. Bart, you're amazing. No, you're the guy who got me to drink a wine that had that cool fountain pen nib on the label. Yeah, that was you. Who would do such a thing, right? pen show things, pen show shenanigans. That's what it was. So come in, get comfortable. I'm wearing a nice sweater. It's really rainy and just gray in Vancouver. Well, I'm outside of Vancouver, but in British Columbia. What else is new, right? But at least it's a little bit warmer, so that's fine. I left sunny LA to come to rainy BC. That's okay. Longhand, yes. So I took a photo of the label because I was like, this is super cool. So I'll share that in an Instagram story or something because I was like, this is amazing. All pen people need to know about this. So I think I know most of you, but if I don't know you and you just kind of stumbled in, welcome. I'm Corolla. I'm a stationery enthusiast. I'm a planner person. I'm a journaler. I love fountain pens. I love painting and drawing with fountain pen ink and watercolor paints. And I love sharing my process on how I do abstract floral art, mostly because it's a way for me to relax and to tap into my creative side. So if you ever want that sort of mindful practice and find a way to be creative, because I think everyone has that artistic side in them, then yeah, join me on streams. I'll update on Instagram what my streams are going to be about. And I'd love to do more of these streams and just like different things that we're going to do together, art or, fountain pens or anything in between. So today, what I wanted to talk about and share with you is just a recap and highlights from the California Pen Show. Some of you were there, and secrets stay in LA, but everything else I'll share here. There were no secrets. And I'll also share my haul. So we'll go through everything that I got. I definitely got some fun stuff. And I think I'll save the pens kind of till the end. I'll go through stationery and all that fun stuff first. And then we'll really dive into those pens because I'm super excited about the pens that I got and everything that I got. Hi, Tom. Hi. Welcome. We need more stationery streams. Yeah, you know what? I think it would be nice to just have like... Whoa. Pen Addict. Thank you for following. Thank you. Thanks, Tom. Thanks for following. Hi, Rad. Welcome to my stream. Yeah, welcome. Brad, it was so fun to hang out with Brad during the show. It was fun to hang out with everyone at the show. And even the makers like, Bart and Brooks. And I met Michaela from White Bear Pens. Super, super awesome people. And it was so fun to hang out with everyone and get to know everyone. And even, after the show was done and we were all just kind of chilling and talking, it's so easy to see why this community is probably one of the best communities out there for enthusiasts to get to know each other and just hang out. I think, oh, right. No, it's a raid and the alerts work. Yay. Hi, pen people. Hi, pen addict. You are my people, pen people. Where are we? Here we go. Let's see those crabs. Yay, it's a crab raid. Hi, everyone. Welcome in. Hi. I'm seeing so many people following. Thank you so much for following and for being here. This is awesome. Yeah, I was just talking about, I just started, and I'm going to talk about the California Pen Show, but I started by saying it was super, super awesome to hang out with everyone. I think for me, this was my second time at the California Pen Show, fourth pen show overall, so I'm still kind of a noob, but I'm learning a lot more about pen shows and the lay of the land, and hanging out with people and just like chatting with everyone, getting to know the community. And I felt like this show was perfect for that. Like it wasn't as fun as San Francisco. SF will always be the fun pen show for me, but it was SF light. It was not as overwhelming, I'd say, but it was equally as fun and so fun to chat and hang out with everyone. Dustin, hanging out with Dustin and Annabelle at their table was super fun. I got to see nib grinders or nib specialists doing their thing. That was really cool. And yeah, Brad, I have to say, if you're still here, it was so fun hanging out with you. Thank you for taking the time. Thanks for grabbing a coffee and doing all those things. And thanks for bringing this community together, because I think this is one of the best communities out there. And I think everyone just is so passionate and is helpful and super friendly and just like willing to hang out and willing to share their passion with everyone. So I really enjoyed it. Appreciate you all. Thank you so much. And thanks for being here. Thanks for all the follows. I'm seeing like screens and like all these alerts and stuff. I'm just going to say thank you so much for following. I appreciate you all. And yeah, feel free to have me on in the background as we sort of chat through pen show stuffs. Ask questions if you want. If you want to chat. Let's just hang out and have fun. This is like pen show after party online. So let's do it virtually. Chicago. Oh, Bailey, I'm so excited to one of these years go to Chicago. I don't think it's going to be this year, but I can't wait to make it out to Chicago. I have been to Chicago, but not the show, and I've never been to Atlas Stationers, which is one of the places I really want to visit. But yeah. Do I stream regularly? So this is my second live stream ever, but I'm trying to work out my schedule, and I think it's going to be either like Monday, Wednesday, Friday, or Wednesday and Friday. So it's going to kind of be a mix of things, because I like all things stationery. I love planners. I love journals. I love playing with fountain pen inks and painting. So I think my streams are going to be kind of a mix of everything. So if you're into fountain pens, if you're into doing art, we're going to paint together one of these days. We're going to draw together. And I love all things stationery. So yeah, follow and join me on, yeah. Sorry if your messages get deleted or you get modded. I'm still learning these things. So yeah, I'll figure it out. You're going to the SF Pen Show for the first time this year, Tom. That's awesome. So I'm planning on going to the SF Pen Show. So California and SF are like the LA and SF Pen Shows are kind of my thing, because I'm in British Columbia, Canada. So it's just a flight down, 3 hours. And so they're kind of, yeah, I'm planning on being there. Dustin and the Coffee Crisps. Okay, so Coffee Crisp, Brad had this on his stream yesterday. They are, I have to admit, it's not like they're a Canadian treasure or something like that. It's not like maple syrup candy, which are really expensive here, and they're also very, very good. So maybe I'll bring some next time. But Coffee Crisp is kind of like one of those, like, you know, it's like a Canadian joke, almost like having a double from Tim Hortons if you come to Canada. Like, it's just one of those things that you do, and, you know, we have lying around and have them once in a while. But I bring them to the shows because they do have a little bit of coffee and a lot of sugar and wafer. So it's like a Kit Kat with a little bit of coffee. UK Toffee Crisp. I've never had that. That sounds amazing. It's not really like, so not like Tim Hortons, like you mean the chocolate. So the funny thing is, I actually went to a London drugstore, which is like Shoppers Drug Mart, or Walgreens, one of those places. But anyways, London Drugs in Canada has Coffee Crisp double flavor. So I don't know what that means. I feel like maybe just tastes like more like Tim Hortons coffee. I don't know, but that's cool. So yeah, I was giving these out at the show. Sorry if you didn't get one. I was trying to like hand them out, like, you know, have a little bit of Canada. I also was giving out my stickers. If you got one of these, on the back, it says scan from my website. So if you want to, you know, stay in touch, there are ways to stay in touch and follow me on socials. And then this one I made this year, 2025, from Corolla. I do have a Ko-fi shop. If you didn't get one of these stickers or you want one, you can check out my Ko-fi shop, and I have like 5 sticker designs on there. So check that out. So yeah, I was giving those out, and I kind of like giving stickers and things like that at pen shows because I just like giving back a little bit, you know, and my art is my way of like celebrating creativity, basically. So if I can make stickers and give them out, I will. Oh, Wind Water, did you not get a sticker from me? I feel like I was giving them out like randomly, like I wasn't even really remembering who I was giving them to, even though I had planned like to have a bunch with me. So for sure, and I'll send some to you, like it's fine. Let me know, reach out, I'll send some to you. Yeah, thank you, thanks. Thanks so much. I might miss your message because or I might miss your chat because I had my coffee crisp yesterday to help transition to work after stream. Yeah, Olive Octopus, hi! I loved hanging out with you too. And thank you for including me in the Ink Pony Club, which I will also share once I get into the things that I got at the show. Yeah, I know. Coffee crisp, honestly, like I said, it's not like it's a big deal in Canada, but I feel like you probably can't get it easily in the States. So if I can bring stuff down to share, I will do it. Okay, let's see. Make and sell postcards. That's a great idea, actually. Yeah, that's a great idea to make postcards. Anyways, the sticker is going on my water bottle. Yes, add it to your water bottle because they are waterproof. They're vinyl, so I will trade you too. Let me know. I will trade you too. We were getting matching. I'm going to talk about it a little bit later, but yes, plotter. Okay, cool. Yeah, so I will also point out the purple and orange sticker that I have that, let me see. Hold on one second. Here's me running away and then coming back. This one. So this sticker, purple and orange. The orange is actually, so I use fountain pen inks to paint these flowers and then draw details on top. The orange is Fire on Fire from Pen Addict. Yay, Brad. I don't have Fire on Fire, the shimmer ink version, but apparently Brad said there's more coming. So once I have the shimmer ink, I'm gonna probably do a version that it has orange flowers that is shimmery soon. Oh, I can't wait. I know, I don't know how I missed out on the first batch, but I did, and I'll pick up a bottle. No big deal. Yeah. So, okay, let me dive in. So first, I'll talk about the things that I got for free or gifted, and people kindly shared with me. So these were the wristbands to get into the show. I thought that was really cool, the red and the green. And then I had this pen lanyard. I think it was Beaveroni that said in Brad's stream yesterday, the pen lanyards are like the new like vests. Yeah, everyone was rocking pen lanyards. But I had this one from last year from Rickshaw. And so Mark and I were chatting, and he was like, no, you need the lanyard from this year. So he gave me this one. And I thought it was really cool that they used this canvas material. So I think that, I don't know if it captures it well on my camera, but it's, yeah, this canvas looks really, really good with the design. So I thought that was really cool. Yeah. Yeah. And then, yeah, so I kind of had this lanyard around my little pen from the Pen Addict. Yeah. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Thanks for supporting. Thank you so much. And then Traveler's Times. This is the latest issue from Traveler's Company. So if you went by the TN table and got something, then, you know, they had these. So that was cool. And so I'm just going to put this aside. A few more things. So I had my little TCMC pouch, which is coming soon. I think this in this colorway. But anyways, it's so good for like keeping a bunch of things on you. I know I saw like people had Rickshaw bags and pouches, but I threw everything in here. So let's go through it. And if you gave me a sticker, thank you so much. I love collecting stickers and collaging with them. So actually what I take with me when I go to shows or when I travel is I take my TN, my airline's TN. And this charm is actually from Hannah Made It, from the community. She makes these. And so I got one, she just kind of gifted it to me at the SF Pen Show last year. So I added that to my TN, and I think she sells them too, so if you want one. And I have this insert, California insert, and then in here, this is where I collage like stickers and photos and things from shows, and I just kind of add them in here, and this is what I will throw all those stickers into. And I just kind of, you know, this is my way of keeping like a travel journal. And oh, thank you for following. Thank you for following and for supporting. Thank you so much. Stroop, if you were at Dustin and Annabelle's table, these were on there. Annabelle brought it from the Netherlands, and I love stroopwafel. If you've had them, you know what's up. They're so good. And yeah, I did trade a few coffee crisps. So I got this from luxury brands like The Table, and they were giving these out, or they were allowing you to pick a free ink, like a bottle or whatever, or cartridges, if you mentioned their Instagram post. So yeah, before you go to a show, if you didn't know that, next time, like take a look at the vendors that are coming. Sometimes they have like these special promos or things like that on their Instagrams just to get you to engage and be part of the show. So I did that. And then I mentioned earlier that I talked to Michaela from White Bear Pens. Really, like I've been following them for a while, like different makers. And I love talking with Michaela at the show. I didn't get a pen this time around, but I've seen her pens and they are gorgeous. The sparkly ones are amazing. How Annabelle says stroopwafel. Yeah, I will butcher it by saying it, but yes, stroopwafel. You can get stroop at London Drugs, a Mafia Geek. Are you serious? Like legit, like good stroops? Okay, I will look. April gave me the Stationery Cafe sticker. We traded stickers. I have an April sticker from last year, like the big penguin. So I want to add this to my journal and just, yeah, I love seeing people sort of evolve their sticker lineup and their art too, like how they, how they create something and they make it into a sticker. I love seeing that. Everyday Explorers. That will go in my journal for sure. Custom Nib Studio. Look how cute these cats are. I have a cat. He's a tuxedo, but yeah, I love cats. So you made it with a dollar finish. Ooh. Penguin's creative. Nice. Oh yeah. That looks cool. Very cool. Skogsy. I may have a sticker too. Anyways, Skogsy. So I love that makers are getting in on this, like stickers, stamps, and then there was this, what's it called? You know what I'm talking about, right? But yeah, doing this on paper is super embossing. Yes, thank you. This embossing, right? How cool is that? And it's slightly raised. Very cool design. Yeah. Traveler's Company. This was from Paper Treats. I thought that was really cool because she was trying to keep tabs on how many people were visiting the table. So you just like pulled one off, and this is going into my travel journal. And also, I guess she wanted to know, how many people were coming. So that's really cool. I thought that was fun. Mad Mercantile. I love talking to Mike. I will show something later that I got at Mike's table. Ooh, Banana Duck. Dustin. If you know, you know. Banana Duck. I can't explain. Yeah, Banana Duck. Okay. In your opinion, who has made the best sticker for and collected a pen shows in any year or location you've attended? I'm going to have to think about that. That's a really good question. Wind, Water, and Flow. Oh, I'm going to have to think about that. I'll get back to you. I want to say like all the stickers, but yeah, I feel unless you're talking about these Pen Addict stickers, right? Very cool. Quack. Oh no, I'm sorry. I started it. Quack, quack. Dustin, what was it that you were saying at your table? And you were like prompting people to quack as they left the table. And I don't know if other people who didn't really know what was going on were just like, what is happening at these pen shows? Why is everyone quacking? Literally people walking around quacking. Dustin. So fun. Sailor Pen Guild from the Itoya Studio table. I'll show something from there soon. Zodiac Pen Company, Bart. Also, I didn't get a pen from Bart's table, Zodiac Pens. Oh no, I'm sorry, Mafia Geek. I'm gonna have to figure out why messages are getting deleted. But I was saying I almost got a pen because, so if you go to Bart's table at a show, you'll see a layout of pens, and they are by signs, like astrological signs. And so I looked at mine, which is Capricorn, and honestly, that pen looked so gorgeous, and I was very, very tempted, and one of these days I probably will, but it was just really nice to talk to Bart, and Lisa was helping at the table too, and yeah, everyone was really, really cool. So Bart is very cool. Oh, he had a stamp. You know what? I missed a lot of stamps too, and I think actually I saw it and then I totally forgot. But I got a sticker, so that's good. Jacqueline, who is helping at Sakura Dragon, she gave me a envelope. Like, people are so nice. They just kind of hand you stuff. And I've talked to Jack Toy online, and it was really, really nice to meet her in person. But more than lettering, is her handle, and just like a bunch of washi. Amazing. Oh, and like other things. But anyways, ephemera and things to add to your journal or your collage. Ink Pony Club, Olive Octopus. Yes. Let me see if I can do. Oh, I should have. There we go. Let's see if that works. Yeah. Olive Octopus. I need to paint on these. So I got 3 different types of paper. And Lisa kindly gave me a few to try out. So I need to paint on these. And do you want me to send these back to you, Lisa? Let me know. I can do that. But yeah, maybe I'll do it on stream one day or something. And we'll just kind of have fun painting, and we'll talk about painting with fountain pennings or something. But I will do this soon because I just think it's like really cool. The design is awesome. Who doesn't love a pony, right? And I will definitely play with them and play with the paper because I'm very curious about the paper. Yeah. Okay, awesome. Hello, hello, hello. Hi. Okay. Oh, and then the other thing. So this is the other thing I really love about pen shows is that you meet new people and makers and artists that you've like never heard of or run across because the community is very large. And I appreciate that there are at pen shows, which, you know, in quotes, you would assume are just pens, but I found over time there have been more stationery vendors as well, and just artists sharing their art and what they make. And so I met Adrina from Retro Steno, and she gave me this cute coaster, and I just love the vibe. It's like vintage designs, right? And they're like, I think she makes like stickers and just, you know, other things with her designs, which I thought was really, really cool. So yeah, someone else to look into and share. Hi, Julia. Hi, welcome. Thanks for joining. So on Y Night, I was loving just sitting and watching Olive Octopus ink draw. Yes, I love that Olive Octopus brought like a mat, first of all, to make sure that spills didn't get on the table and stuff. There was like a whole setup, a mat, inks, muddlers, and nibs, Kakamori nibs. I tried the shuttle nib from Colorverse. So that was really fun to try. And thank you for following. Hi, Stocksy. Hi. Hello. So yeah, that was really fun to watch. And then also I tried, I brought my hobbies journal. So part of my planner lineup this year is this Sterling Ink N2. And in it, I'm just like, all I keep in here is everything to do with my hobbies. So like reading, fountain pens that I have inked up as I ink them. And then also I do like notes on like books that I read, nibs that I try, like the harmonic, which like I fell in love with because not only is it gorgeous, but it writes like a dream. I know, Dutch Bill Paper Mill. Yeah, I mean, look, this is like a continuation of a pen addict stream, right? Like, I'm usually in the chat just like trolling Brad or chatting with everyone. And this is just like, let's move over to another stream and continue on. Yeah. Oh, I know. Wind, Water, and Flow. We need to chat about books and rocks, apparently. The harmonic is so cool. Skogsy, Zach, 100%. Like, it is one of the coolest nibs I've seen and tried. And I love that, if you're not familiar with the harmonic, it's a nib that Annabelle, who's a nib specialist and metal wizard person, I don't know, what, goldsmith? Is that the term? Anyways, she makes this nib, engraves it, and like metallurgist. Yeah, goldsmith. Yeah, and so she engraves it, like makes the nib, and metal wizard. I feel like someone needs to have that title, metal wizard, right? And then she grinds it into whatever you want, like in the nib, right? So not only do you have a beautiful nib, but you also have it ground to whatever you want. So anyways, I don't have one, but I tried it and I'm obviously obsessed and it's on my list. So if you did get one of her harmonic nibs, you're lucky and congratulations and please share. Yeah, and Kimberly, all the hobbies, she brings all her all pens, all kinds of different pens to pen shows. And so you can sit with her and like try her pens. And I basically tried all of them. And she just kind of well, not all of them actually. There's only a few out of the like binder of pens. But thank you. The flower doodle testing. Yeah, Miss G's, it's just like a default way that I swatch, just because also when I doodle flowers, I like write down obviously what pen and nib it is if I remember and if I can. But my way of drawing the flowers is like I can test the nib and I can sort of see how it does the loops and the, cross lines across and things like that. So it shows me the line variation and widths, and also I do a little bit of shading on the leaves. Oh, I don't know if it, oh no. Let's try again. I think it just like cut out. Oh, there we go. Okay. And yeah, and shading it shows me the properties of the ink too. So it's just my way of testing it out. And I loved all of the pens. Aurora, I might need to get an Aurora. I don't have one. The Monarch. Okay, if you have a Monarch nib, it writes really well. I'm so jealous. I really want one. It's on my wish list, of course. But yes, every time I go to a pen show, I go to Ian's table, Show and Design, and I try the Monarchs because I'm like, I really want one. And I don't have one, but yeah, I add them to my book of things that I want. And what else? Ooh, I tried Gina's nibs. So I also go to the nib specialist tables, and I love when they have testers out, and not during your appointment because you're kind of busy getting a nib ground, but when you have time off, just like go to the table and try out their different nib grinds. Because then also if people ask, what are some cool grinds or what would you recommend, I can always look at these for reference. So yeah. So those were, I don't know, I got sidetracked, but it's kind of chaotic, isn't it? It's all good. The other thing I do is take sticker paper, which a lot of people do, and you just kind of stamp on that, because then you can cut out the stickers or stamps or whatever, or you can cut out the stamps and make them stickers, right? And then throw them into your journal, or so you're not like trying to figure it out. But I also have this insert from TN that I like to just stamp in. So from Sakura Dragon, that table, Carolina Pen Company, Brooks, Galen Leather. I didn't get anything from them, but I did try out their 2 stamps, and they always have great stuff. So, oh, Skogsy Pens. I got your stamps in here. And yeah, Kubo and Lucy, they had a whole table of stamps, and I had to try them all out. So this was from SF Pen Show. So I kind of just like continuing stamps in this insert. I don't know, it's just fun to look at. And it's a way to document shows. Chicago will be your first pen show, Carol. So yeah, definitely take sticker paper, take some extra papers, take an insert if you want to stamp right in it, then you don't have to worry about it later. But also, have extra paper there. if you want to just stamp on there, or, you know, you can look at it later and then just organize everything later. Have fun in Chicago. I wish I was going. Oh, thanks, Miss G's. You know what? I don't really know what's happening with the bot. I know that there are like, oh, I'm sorry, people are getting timed out. Yeah, I don't really know how to do anything about it. I'm sorry. Oh no, timed out for something too close to a link? Okay. If you want to know more about the Ink Pony Club, ask all of Octopus, or yeah, okay, it was a link. I feel like I may have like done the default like moderation on Stream Elements, and it's just like, no links, no this, no that. And like, honestly, it's like, I don't mind, but it may be something I can just go into. Anyways, here we go. We'll try that. That might work, but anyways. I locked it down. Hey, the bot has locked it down. And yeah, I'm sorry if my video cuts out too. Obviously, I'm still figuring out my setup. It is my second live stream, and I just wanted to make sure that I wanted to do more live streams before I like invested in technology. So, but so far I'm really enjoying it, and I want to do more live streams. So I know I'm like trying to keep up with chat too. So, okay. So, we've talked about the things that I got sticker wise and things like that. I want to quickly chat about the workshop that I took. If I can, there we go. Sigils. I took the same workshop that Brad took. I was there with Anna from the Well-Appointed Desk, and it was super, super interesting. I love intention-based stuff. So if you've watched like my YouTube videos on my planner and journal lineup and things like that, I talk about like setting an intention for my planners and for my journals, especially when I start a new book, because I like to sort of be grounded in intentions with my notebooks and just with life in general. So marrying that idea of having intentions with sigils in a creative way really interested me, and I am so glad I took this workshop because it was really interesting. And thank you for the follow, Minky Love, everyone who's following me and joining, thank you so much. And so yeah, the sigils class was really interesting, and I did try them out. It definitely pushed me outside of the comfort zone, I will say that, in terms of like taking the idea of having an overall intention, breaking it down into a phrase, and then breaking those letters that are in a phrase down into manageable letters. And basically you're left with sort of these basic letters that represent this phrase that leads to your intention. And using those letters to create a sigil, which is basically like a symbol, right? And orienting your page to write those letters down, adding some symbols and a little bit of, you know, artistry to that. And then you're left with, like, you sort of play with it, and then you're left with a final sigil. And then, wrong copy. Copy pasta. And yeah, so, you know, I sort of tried it. I gave it a go, and I really enjoyed it. And I think it's worth practicing for sure. And getting sort of comfortable with the idea of creating sigils for intentions and then putting them out there and just letting, you know, the universe sort of work its magic and get you to your intention. So yeah, I would definitely recommend, if you're going to a pen show for the first time, or, you know, you've sort of been to pen shows, I would recommend looking at the list of workshops, not because I teach a workshop at the SF Pen Show, but also because it's a great way of stepping away from the pen show and just getting a break, sitting down and doing, like being creative or learning something from someone who's passionate about it. And I just find it sort of, brings people together in a creative way, whether you're learning, whether you're doing art, whether you're practicing something. My class is about abstract floral art. So that's what I did my first live stream on. The VOD is on Twitch. It's also on YouTube. And it's basically painting with painting flowers with fountain pen inks and then drawing on top. But it's very intuitive. And I basically start my class by saying, like, there are zero expectations and we are not going to, expect an outcome. Like, I'm not going to show you how to do one specific type of art or painting. I'm just going to help you tap into your creative side, go with the flow, be intuitive, let your hand guide you when you're painting and drawing. And it's just a bit of fun. Yeah, thanks, Sir Kobo. Yes, you were there. It's a super fun class because I find that sometimes, even with the Sigils class, I find that we all kind of need the permission to just like go with the flow, to just have fun. Like, no one's expecting anything. And I personally am a perfectionist. So I like to, and you wouldn't tell by looking at my art because it's very like chaotic and very abstract. My paintings especially. Like when I draw with a glass tip pen or with a nib, sometimes there's a little bit of intention there. But when I'm painting, there's zero expectations. So I just find sometimes we need that like permission to just like go with the flow, do whatever comes to you. And I think I wasn't surprised by this at the end of my class, but I think a lot of people are surprised that at the end of an art class like that, they actually look down and they're like, whoa, I love this. Like, I'm very happy with this art that I created. And I always say, if I can get Brad to turn an ink blob into something gorgeous, then I can teach anyone and anyone can do it. Because, sometimes you go into these like workshops or doing art thinking, I can't possibly make it look like that. And I will tell you that if you paint with me, you can do this. So yeah, sorry, that probably got really loud. I'm sorry. So I'm on Instagram. I also have a website. lilyanbella.com is my website. They're after my twin daughters. But I'm also on, it was nice and ASMR. I'm sorry if it gets really loud, but yes, ASMR is always good. I'm also on Instagram. I'm on YouTube. Hoping to do the same workshop or a variation for the SF Pen Show this year. But we'll see, hopefully. If once it gets announced, you'll have more details. But I do post updates and things like that on Instagram. So, yeah. Stationery ASMR. I know we love our ASMR for stationery, like paper sounds, and yeah. Let's not even get started on that. Okay, so that was the workshop that I took. It was really fun. I really enjoyed it. And I'd love to keep practicing on sigils. So look that up if you're interested. Stationery that I got. Oh, thanks for following. Thank you, Patricia. Inky biostatistician. Whoa, awesome. Thank you all for following. Talking about ASMR, I went to Kinokuniya, and I got a few things from them. Okay. So these are the ink swatch cards, and I had to get this because it has a maple leaf on it, like Canada represent. But yeah, so I like these ink swatch cards. So here's another tip for if you're going to a pen show, if it's your first time, or if like when you're attending a pen show. I like to have some ink swatch cards in my pouch with me, because sometimes people, like if they get a bottle of ink, they'll let you swatch it, which is super nice. Or they'll bring like a bunch of inks like Olive Octopus tends to do. And you can ask if you can swatch some of them for later. Like you can use that as a reference for inks that you're really interested in. So I do that sometimes. So those are useful. I got A5 loose sheets of Tomoe River paper in cream. So I don't have that. And what I do is what I'm going to do is I'm going to hole punch these and throw them into my A5 plotter. And, you know, they're plain, so you can use them for whatever. And then I got this notebook because I think Brad mentioned it to me. And I was like, ooh, I'm very curious. And with the whole TRP thing that's happening this year in the community in terms of like just inconsistencies with Tomoe River paper, Sanzen, I'm sort of branching out in terms of what paper I'm using and testing. So I think this is plain. So I think I'm going to use this for painting because so right now I'm using the Everyday Book from Galen Leather, which is TRP. But once I'm done this, and I like the standard size, but I think it's kind of nice to have more space when you're painting. So I think I might move over to like a notebook hardbound that has nice paper. So that's why. Corolla, you should do a workshop at the Portland show. Yeah, so the only thing about the Portland show is I think it's going to be a road trip for me because I might bring my family. So it'll be a road trip and I might only be there for a day. So we'll see. We'll see what happens. But yes, I can't wait for more shows. I may do Portland for that reason, just because it's a road trip and it would be fun. Oh, the store. Yeah, so Bailey, Kinokuniya. I did visit it when I was in, I think there's one in Seattle, maybe. But, you know, there are, I don't know where the like main locations of Kinokuniya are. It is in California though, right? But anyways. So yeah, it was kind of just nice to look at things that, you know, I may not have available near me. So. More stationery. Have you tried the new No, I haven't, Tom. I haven't tried the notebook yet. I will do some swatching on it and I'll share that on Instagram probably or on stream one day, something like that. But I will swatch and I'll let you know how it is. There's one in NY and NJ. Okay. You grew up with them? Wow. There are several throughout California. Yeah, I figured. Atlanta Metro has one. Yeah, so I guess they're sort of around. And Barnes and Nobles, oh yeah, so I think they started carrying TRP notebooks, right? Barnes and Nobles. Anyway. Okay. So I went to Kubo and Lucy because if you are a stationery person and you follow Kelsey Doodles, who is amazing, Kubo and Lucy did a collab with Kelsey Doodles and they created this tin, which is really cool. Sardines. I love this design. So yeah, because we all need tins, right? I think Brad was talking about this on his stream yesterday that he got one and like, what do you use these tins for, right? Like stamps. I like that there's a little bit of height on this. So you can actually put rubber stamps in here or acrylic stamps if you have like a mini sheet or sticker flakes. Anyone fans of sticker flakes? Because they will get lost and they will end up everywhere. So you kind of need like tins to keep these things organized, and you can always throw this into your stationery pouch when you're going to a pen show or you're going, cafe journaling or something like that. So yeah, I love sticker flakes. Bailey, you're my type of person. And then a magnet and a sticker. And then I also got this stamp. It's just this, like, basically. And it came with a little mini stamp, which is really cool. I just thought it was packaged really nicely and I like the stamp. So, We all need more stamps in our lives too. Ooh, Okay. Sorry, that was the chaos. Okay. We're back. So then my first 2 stops, I was there on Friday and Saturday. And then I flew out Sunday morning. But my first stop on Friday, and I got the early admission ticket because I wanted to go before general public went. So my first 2 stops were Plotter and Travelers Company because if you went to the SF Pen Show, they were busy, like super busy, like line up around the table busy. And they were busy in LA at the California Pen Show too. But I found like there were pockets of time where you could just kind of like stand at the table and browse stuff. Whereas in SF, I just like went to the table and I like just started grabbing things and I wasn't even aware of what I was grabbing. I just like took stuff. And this time I actually got to like look at things at their table. I have to take Annabelle. Oh, okay. Oh, thanks so much for joining, Dustin. Yay, have a good one. And I will see you soon, hopefully. So I got this coffee table trip. They had like limited edition items and like collections. So they had some coffee table stuff. This is not from Travelers Company, but I got this. And then I got this really cool shoulder bag. It's small enough that like I actually use this throughout the show to put like, you know, my wallet and just things like that. And it's very comfy and very stretchy. And apparently you can throw this into the wash and like don't even worry about it. So you don't have to be precious with it, basically. Yes, have a safe trip. It was so good to see Annabelle. And yeah, it's really good. Anyways, and I hope Baz is feeling better because Annabelle's husband was sick. Anyways, so I got this California insert because this is kind of like my travel journal insert. What else? Some more things. I got a couple of things from the Let's Go on a Road Trip collection. I did not get the cover because it was a set, right? So I didn't get the cover and I didn't get the set, but I did get just a couple of things. Arizona. Oh, yeah. Thank you, Dustin. Arizona would be fun to visit too. It's nice. And yeah, I don't want to be there if Annabelle's there because she snores apparently. I'm just kidding. Let's Go on a Road Trip, the sticker set. So I got that. I love this van idea. And then I obviously had to get the clip. So I have the 2 other clips, they're just regular sort of Travelers Company clip and the one with the airplane. So this one will be added to that collection. And then I got a couple of washi tapes. These are the travel ones. And I think they're just really cool. Like I could add these to Happy Mail and things like that. So that was fun. Ooh, and then I got this little pouch, this canvas pouch, because I have the passport. Like I only have 2 passport covers, but this one is one I got in Tokyo in 2016. So it's really special to me. And right now I just kind of have inserts in it that I'm using, like art inserts kind of. And I want to add this to it. And the thing about Travelers Company is they sell out quickly of certain things. And even at retail stores in Canada, like Wonder Pens is great, but they sell out really quickly when they have Travelers Company stuff. So I love stocking up on TN related goodies. And then they had a little like gumball machine thingy, right? And you could you use like a little plastic coin or whatever. And then I got this little pin, Route 88. Route 66. Canadian. Okay, so that was from Traveler's Company. And then I went to, like, there were so many stationery vendors that I did want to check out. And I did. I kind of, like, browsed and looked around, but I feel like I didn't buy a lot of, like, I didn't buy a lot of stickers. I didn't buy a lot of washi tapes, just because there was just so much. And I wish I kind of spent a little bit more time with them. But I did go to Everyday Explorers, and I got this stamp set. They have a bunch of cool stamp sets, like acrylic stamps there's one with like pen show related ones. There's like ink related ones, journaling. So whatever you're kind of into, I love that these stamps are sort of handy just to carry or like have on you if you don't want to write everything out. So I got this Chachihata ink pad. I think this color is really cool. So I got that. And then just some stickers. A sticker set. Okay. So so now you got a regular size for more artsy artsy stuff. Yeah, I find the TN is really good for like artsy stuff. I love the inserts are flexible, right? So you can throw in one for journaling, for art, and then they also have like planner inserts. So I just love the flexibility of it. And I have different covers for different purposes. So now we get to Wind, Water, and Flow has one too. And that's, yeah. So I had to, oh my. I will say the one thing that, yeah, you know this bag. So also, I went to the plotter table, literally the first thing I did when I got into the show on Friday was go to the plotter table. And because if you know Plotter, they sell out quickly. And so kind of close your eyes. You don't want to see this. And you don't want to see my stack of plotters that I'm adding to. This is my plotter family. I'm just gonna move this over here. Okay, so this is my plotter family. I have an A5, which is my planner. I have a Bible, which was my planner last year, but I use it as an ink directory now. And then this is my Mini 6, which I got, this was my first plotter. I got in 2022, I think. And because I was getting into plotters, I just wanted to try it out. And now it's sort of my on-the-go, like, notes and things. Whenever I kind of want to brain dump, I pull out this plotter. And then I love the flexibility of rings because you can take out the paper and recycle it and not have to think about it again. Or you can transfer like notes and ideas into your sort of permanent or hardbound journal or planner. So that's why I kind of like these plotters. And if you see my planner lineup videos, I talk more about how I use a plotter as a planner. And I love the flexibility of having rings, but I don't like big rings. And so that's why plotter is perfect for me, because I don't really feel the rings when I'm writing. But I still enjoy being able to take out papers and moving sections around as I feel the need to. You don't like ring planners, Bailey. We need to talk, because I used to use rings like years and years and years ago. I really did, but because I love the flexibility of it, right? Which is like what rings are. But I hate having to take out paper to write on it just because the rings are bugging me, right? And then having to put it back in. And with the plotter, I don't have that problem. I'm right-handed, so writing on the left side, I don't feel the rings. Like obviously you kind of have to get used to that feeling too, but I don't feel the rings anymore. And if I do, I honestly just like throw, I have like a leather blotter sheet or just like a regular blotter paper, especially if you're writing with fountain pens. It's like something that I always sort of have under my hand anyways, and it's perfect. So horsehair, yes. What's the material of your A5 cover? This is horsehair 2. It's the brown one, I guess. I think it's called brown or gray or something like that. But I got it because it reminds me of like a tree trunk. Like a tree, yeah. So it has those striation lines, but just very gentle texture. Like it's not intrusive at all. And the more you use it, right, you start to patina, which I don't know if you can sort of see here. There we go. You see that shine there? And that makes it smoother. And so like you start out with the texture, but then as you use it, you know, and I love these marks that you could see that are like sort of there when you get the cover, but also as you use it, you know. Oh yeah, Miss G's, thanks so much for joining. Happy lurking. And yeah, when you see it in person, I mean, or you might just like, you know, plotters are and rings are for people who want that flexibility of rings, and you know, whether or not it bugs you, and if that's a deal breaker, then it's a deal breaker. But if you can use it and you get what you want out of the ring system and the rings don't bother you, then you know, and it's leather covers, which is beautiful, but also the price, like I will admit, obviously, you know, they're not cheap, and it is kind of like an investment, right? But they are meant to be long-term systems. And I feel like the what you get out of using this kind of system is like, it's not just aesthetics, gorgeous, but also the functionality of it for me outweighs, you know, having to get hardbound planners and like in notebooks, and then feeling really frustrated that I can't just like add paper or remove sections or move them around. And I also like to carry just a few weeks at a time and all the months. So just like my setup is a little bit different than I would get from a notebook planner. So quality over quantity. Yeah, I agree. So anyways, let's get into what I got from Plotter as I roll over paper. So I obviously had to get a few more A5 inserts. Letterpress printing. This paper is really, really cool because it has embossed lines. They're not drawn on there, so they're very minimal, like they're very non-intrusive, which I think is really cool. And the paper is nice too. So just a few inserts that I needed. And then I had to get these inserts. Plain, grid, and I had to get them in square because I'm gonna try and convince you, Bailey. Ooh, look at that. And it's so this is the square. This is the square plotter in purple. This was like a show. They had it only at the show. They don't have these online. And what a beautiful, I know. Can we just take a moment just to, oh wait. They had purple, and then they had wine. I think it was like a wine brown color. And when I initially saw them share this on their Instagram, I was like, purple, like I'm not really a purple person. Like I have purple things, but I don't tend to be drawn to purple more than like a brown wine color. I love browns, right? Like I love browns, deep browns, and like chocolatey browns. And purple is not something I would have naturally been drawn to. But Tom, you're right. This shade, Indie Dragonfly, this shade of purple, right? Plan with, Yeah, so if you love purple, then like this would have blown you away pretty much. Because, yeah, so what happened was, here's the story, right? So initially when I saw this online, I thought, I'm not really a purple person. The wine color was really nice. Like both covers are obviously gorgeous, but I don't need another plotter. Right? Like I'm good. I have my family and I'm happy with them. So that's kind of how I went into the show. And as you know, April makes you think things, and Job does too. And so I went to their table, chatted with them for a bit, looked at like the options, just because, I was browsing. And then April said, have you seen the purple square plotter? And I was like, no, I haven't. And so she whips it out and basically goes like, look at this. You can hold it. Oh, you can touch it. And I was like, oh man, just like if you saw this and a lot of people actually did get this. Like there are quite a few people in the community, Wind, Water, and Flow, I'm looking at you. A few people that got the same one, because if you see this in person and you touch it and you feel it and you hold it and you're like, and Bailey, I will tell you, if you get over this rings thing, right? Like it's very minimal. It's very minimal. I don't find it intrusive, but so yeah, obviously I got it. Let's see that light shine on there. I love it's sort of like, it's not an overly smooth texture. It is smooth, but it has a little bit of roughness to it. So, the more you handle it and the more you use it, it will patina and it will smoothen over and it will get darker probably. And I can't wait. I'm sorry, Tom, but I almost walked away and I was like, you know what? If there's one thing I'm going to regret not getting at the show, it's probably the purple plotter, which I 100% did not expect to buy. So maybe that was one of the things that surprised me at the show was, looking and feeling things and then like just in the moment being like, yeah, I have to get it because I will regret not getting it. So this one's a square one, Bailey. And it's not available on their site because it is sort of, I think it's pretty popular in Japan, but it doesn't make its way over here just because it's not as popular as their other sizes and they don't have a bunch of inserts for it. So it's like, they don't have like planner inserts or they literally just have the grid plain and then there's like a blue paper grid. Yeah. Oh, actually I put a few in here. So I'll show you what I got with it. I got this pouch insert. So you sort of put it in and there's on both ends, there's a zipper. So you can throw things in there. Then I got this band lifter to keep it closed, but I don't know if I will use it. So you kind of just put this around like that, keeps it closed. I may or may not use that, and then I got this lifter with a pen holder. So this would fit like most regular pens, like ballpoint pens. And then it would fit like a small or thin fountain pen. So this Kaweco fits perfectly in it. So it kind of depends. Like if you want to carry around a fountain pen, it will fit some fountain pens, but not all, or it might be a tight squeeze. So that's one thing to remember or keep in mind. The inserts that I got, this is the plain paper, but I think it's like croquis paper or because it's sort of textured. So I wanted to ask April what kind of paper it was, and I totally forgot. But it's like a cream color plain paper. And then they have the grid, which is very, very tiny, 2mm grid. And then they have the 2mm blue paper grid. So in the A5, it has quadrants in it. This is just like one quadrant, basically. design filled paper. Yeah, I think it feels sort of like it's a little bit different than their regular, and I have a light on because it's cloudy here, but this is more cream than their regular cream paper. Let's see if I can, plain paper, not cream paper. Like this sort of regular paper, plain paper from Plotter feels different than this plain paper for their square. And I think because it's like a croquis sort of finish, because it feels a little bit like tiny bit textured. So how do I feel about the size? So let's compare. This is the square, right? So compared to the Mini 6, right? So it's a little bit wider, and I got it because I'm not 100% sure what I'm going to use it for, but I got it because I love this Mini 6 and how portable it is. But sometimes I find like I wish I just had a little bit more space to keep writing, right? So yeah, it's one of those things, like once you use something, you're like, oh, I wish I had a little bit more space, or whatever the case is. And square is kind of that answer, right? Like it's like a Mini 6 paper gives you, like, the square gives you just a little bit more, right? And so if you're using it for journaling or writing down ideas or things like that, it just gives you a little bit more landscape. And I think that's kind of the positive of this, the pro. And then compared to the Bible, it's slightly shorter, right? So you're just losing the height of it, but you're kind of keeping the width. So it makes, like, I love the Bible size because I find that it's actually pretty portable, like to throw into your bag or whatever to go. But the square is that much more portable, but I think it keeps some of that functionality. So it's sort of, for me, I like it and I'm intrigued by it and I can't wait to start using it, because for me, it's the in-between Bible size and Mini 6. And I considered getting a Mini 5, not at the show, like previously, but I never got one because even as a wallet, I just find it is very small. It is so cute, but tiny. So functionality wise, I feel like this is sort of that in between. You get a little bit more space compared to Mini 6, but it's bigger than a Mini 5, right? I think a Mini 5 is like a credit card size, literally. So I just think the space works in that way. The size works in that way. And then obviously it's like, you know, a little baby compared to the A5. Like the A5 is, you know, A5. It's big. I don't consider this to be portable, but I will say I took this to the show with me because this is where I printed out the show map, like the floor map, and I'd highlighted where I wanted to go, what tables I wanted to check out, and then I had like my schedule in there, you know, nib grinds and workshop, and then I kept notes, so things I wanted to remember and stuff. So this was in my TCMC pouch, which is A5 size, because it was like, compared to regular A5 notebooks, this is actually a lot slimmer because obviously you can't overstuff it, right? There is a limit to it. But the way I have it set up is basically I have like my planners in here, my months and a few weeks. And then in the back, I actually added this adhesive from Traveler's Company. And then I added a thin Hobonichi like supplementary notebook, like whatever they sort of like companion notebook. So I added an A5 companion notebook. Hello, hi. I was like, who is this? TCMC Helen, hi, thanks for joining. Yay, welcome to Twitch, welcome to my stream. I am talking about, and I'll tell you when I see you, but, oh, your username was taken. It's Helen. Everyone, it's Helen. I'll show you when I see you, and you'll get to feel it, because in person, this is an experience. But yeah. Plotter, square, in purple. If you go to a pen show in the future, and you get to, like, go to the plotter table, and Bailey, you said you're going to Chicago, right? But anyways, if you go to a pen show and plotters there, check it out, and like, just, I will tell you it's dangerous because you may not walk away empty-handed, but if you want to get a feel for their binders and the setup and see if, you know, rings is your sort of thing, then I would definitely say check it out. Or, you know, or if you see people like me, like I actually had a couple of my plotters with me, and people were kind of asking me about my take on plotters and the different sizes, and I literally whip them out like April does at the table, right? Like I whip them out and I'm like, hey, touch it, feel it, you know, see if that's something you're interested in. So that's my plotter story, and I'm not sorry I got it. I am surprised because I wasn't expecting to add a fourth plotter. A year ago, I only had one. So I only had this mini because I've had this for a number of years. But literally in a year, I've added 3 plotters. One, this Bible I actually got from Atlas Stationers with credit that I had with them. So technically I didn't pay for it, but yeah, I added 3 just because once you try it, and if it works for you, then, you know, you have a system that you enjoy. So maybe there's an imposter. There are questions I can ask too. What's the password, Helen? No, when's your next release? I'm just kidding. Okay, so now we're down to, let me see my notes, my nib grinds. And, oh, Helen, you came at the exact right time, because I was going to talk about, like, I've talked about the stationery and things that I bought, but I'm going to talk about nib grinds and the pens that I bought. And when I talk about nib grinds, I'm going to talk about Helen, because, okay, let's move a few things. Okay. Because Helen had a pilot. I hope I can reveal your things, but I'm going to talk about your pen anyways. So Helen got a pilot 74, right? And out of the box, it wrote a little, like, it wasn't smooth. It wasn't a smooth writer. And I will say this, Pilot is one of those pen brands that I've never had an issue with out of the box. Never. Like, it doesn't matter what model I got. It wrote beautifully, because Pilot nibs are the best nibs. They are legit, like, smooth, comfortable. They write beautifully. So when Helen got this pen and she tried it out, and then she was like, it's a little scratchy, try it out. And so I tried it and I thought, yeah, this is really, really weird. When you do sort of those loops and you're doing upstrokes, it felt scratchy. And you are not a fan of Pilot nibs. Bailey, you haven't tried the bougier ones? Why are you not a fan of Pilot nibs? Just curious. But also, you know, it is, like, good for you for, like, recognizing what you like and what you don't like when you try something. So, what did I show? What did I show that Helen didn't? Oh, the shoulder bag. Oh, yeah. So Helen sneaked it in her newsletter, the shoulder bag that I had. And, I actually took it with me to the pen show, because it is super roomy and I can fit a bunch of things in there. So yeah, so I think a few people pointed it out and they're like, I recognize this from the newsletter. And I was like, yes, that was me. That was me modeling the shoulder bag. Love my Pilot Decimo. Yes. Oh, so I don't have a Decimo, but I have two VPs, and they are my go-to pens. Like, talk about an EDC pen, right? Like having it on the desk or like carrying it around and just click it and you're good to go, right? Pilot pens, Metro Kakuno, all too stiff and scratchy. Okay. Oh, really? What? So your mediums write like a fine? Yes. So Asian pens, Pilot, Sailor, Platinum, they tend to write finer than the equivalent size from like Pelican or Kaweco, or even like, from North America, just because that's how their pens are. And so when I buy like a Pilot or a Sailor or whatever, I tend to go up a size just because I know it's going to write finer than what you would expect from a Western pen maker. And they're finicky. Okay, we need to talk about the pens that you should try from Pilot then. And I don't have an E95, Tom, and I know that they're gorgeous and they're very they're pockets, so great to do. Like, do you carry it around? Because they look like you could be carrying it around but have like a good writing experience with a Pilot nib. Yeah. You need to try a bougier one. So like the 74 is a very nice pen. So when Helen showed this to me, I was like, yeah, nice pen, right? Like gorgeous. And the problem was the nib wasn't writing smoothly. And so we kind of went, I told her I could take it to the California Pen Show and get it fixed. Like I could get it tuned up. Great. And that's the other thing about pen shows is you could get grinds, or like you could get a nib custom ground to a different type of nib that writes differently, that has different line variations. Or you can go to a nib specialist with a nib that just isn't writing the way that you want it to. So like Bailey, if you're finding nibs that are like scratchy or, they just don't write the way that you would expect them to write, there might be something that a nib specialist can do with a nib to smooth it out for you, to make it wetter, to make it drier, to like all these different nib properties can potentially be adjusted to your writing style, because we all write differently, right? Like some of us have high writing angles, some of us have low writing angles. Some of us, like me, I love nibs that I can write with a high writing angle because that's how I print. So I would hold my pen sort of like that, right? When I'm printing. But when I'm journaling, I use cursive and just so I could write faster. Like I do stream of consciousness journaling where I'm just putting thoughts on paper without filtering, without thinking about it. And so I use a lower angle because I'm writing cursive and I'm writing fast. And so for me, I like having pens that I can use different writing angles. And so like, for example, like a Naginata or a CY Sankaksen, he also grinds it for Esterbrook. It's called a Techo nib. Gina has a perspective grind, which I got. And this will give you different line variations depending on the angle that you write with. And Matthew Chen, so I think his is called Kodachi. There's different nibs that you can get depending on your writing style. I have a Pilot Custom 91 in medium that writes lovely. Yes, I know. Yeah, a Pilot Custom. Yeah, that's awesome. Tom, you don't carry it around, but it's smooth and juicy. Tuned by Gina. Okay, so as my story continues, I told Helen I could take this to California Pen Show because I had an appointment with Gina, and a lot of the nib, most or some of the nib specialists, I think most, would have their appointments available online. So a couple weeks before a pen show, they announce on Instagram or their platform of choice when you can go and sign up for an appointment on their website. And so Gina is one of those nib specialists that it's really tough to get an appointment with because they are amazing, number one. And so everyone, like literally, I had to sit at my computer at the time that the appointments were going up, and I just clicked on whatever came up. And I was like, I know I wanted to do it on Saturday. So I literally just hit a button because they get booked up in mere seconds. I'm not even kidding. They go so fast. So depending on the nib specialist, obviously, you know, their appointments go pretty fast. And sometimes they'll have walk-ups. You can go to the show in person and sign up on like a sheet and get a nib appointment that way. But otherwise you can do it online. And so I had done that, like within seconds. I had like whatever appointment was available in the morning. And you missed all of Gina's time slots. Yeah, it's very competitive. Sir Cobalt, you need to get into gear for this pen show. I'm always so busy, I never end up getting an appointment for grinds. Yeah, so, you know, if you kind of know what your day is going to look like, I would recommend signing up for an appointment online, because then it's sort of there, right? And you can plan the rest of your day at the pen show around it. And especially if you know that you want to get a certain grind. Like I knew, because some of the nib specialists have their, you know, the grinds that they're comfortable with or that they're known for. And Gina is known for the journaler nib, right? Because that's what they grind for Esterbrook. You can get the journaler nib from Esterbrook on an SD pen, and that is ground by Gina. So if you want a journaler on a different pen, or if you want, like for example, the journaler that comes from Esterbrook is ground on a medium nib, just to be technical. And so the line is slightly finer than if you got it on a broad nib. And so that's what I wanted. So at a previous pen show, I got Gina to grind a broad journaler. So a journaler on a broad nib. And it just gives you a wider line. So that's fine. But for this pen show, I wanted to get, So let me go through Helen's pen first, and then I'll show you what I actually got ground. But I had an appointment with Gina, and so I got a grind, and then I pulled this out, and I said, okay, so the story is that I think Helen and I don't know if we're crazy or you know what, but I think we sort of feel scratchiness when we write with this. And so Gina was like, yeah, you know, give it to me. I'll take a look. And so they tried it on a piece of paper, you know, just sort of like trying the loops and stuff. Immediately, like this is how professional nib specialists are, because immediately Gina was like, I'm thankful that you brought it to me. Like, I honestly, there's something wrong with this nib. Not that the nib is like busted or whatever, but it just needed a little bit of smoothing. Oh, yes. Can I show the Coffee Monsters bag? Are we doing show and tell of TCMC? So this is the pouch that I took with me to the show. It's so adorable. And the cool thing about this, sorry to go off kilter here, but they have two loops on the side that you can attach a cross sort of strap to. So you can use it as a shoulder bag, you can use it as a crossbody bag, or, you know, just sling it around your shoulder, or just carry like this. Like you could use it as a pouch to put in your bag, which is fine. And then I also have a little keychain attached to it. But I love that, like, it's the large size. It's a large size, so it literally fits A5. It fits a standard TN, right? It fits everything. And then it has this zippered little pouch here, which again, like in this, I put my two plotters, literally had my plotter family in this pouch, right? So you could fit your Bible plotter, your mini 6 in there. Okay. I'm trying to find out when I can get one. Yeah, I got a prototype, and people recognized it at the show because they were like, it was in the email newsletter. When can I get one? So, it'll come out when it comes out, and it will be worth the wait because it is so gorgeous. It's a gorgeous gray, and it's so useful. Like, you could literally carry a bunch of things with you, and it's very, malleable. I don't know. You could fit a lot of things in it. Anyways, so Gina worked wonders on this. This writes like, I can't wait to show this to Helen and get her to write with it, and then just like maybe I'll document that moment when she puts nib to paper and realizes how smooth and buttery this nib now writes. Oh no, I will be there in person because I'm handing this off. So, Helen, report, or I will report. But yeah, Helen, you should do an Instagram story so people can see you journaling with this. I am super excited for you. And so, yeah, Gina did magic on this, and just kind of like when you watch a nib specialist do their thing, they're like, I took some video, but literally like grinding and testing it out on paper, and then using like fine, sandpaper or whatever to really perfect the nib experience. I almost like, this is what I told Gina, is I think actually this writes better than what it would have written right out of the box if it was fine. Like if it was, good to go. I think they actually made this write a lot better. So yes, you get Gina's magic on that. I walked up to Gina and asked if the journal or nib was available for sale. Oh, Minky Love. Yeah, maybe. That sounds familiar. Did you end up getting a nib, or did they not have the journal or nib? But someone came up and was like, oh, can I buy nibs from you? And Gina was like, yeah, you can. And so I was like, my ears perked up, obviously, because I was getting a grind at the time. And I thought, well, I don't have time to get more grinds, but I am curious about the perspective grind because if I have my notebook here. So I actually tested the perspective grind while I was sitting there. And so this is what it writes like. Perspective XL is, I think, ground from a double broad, which is what I got. And so at like a high angle, it will give you a sort of like a broader, or not a broader, a finer line, so like a medium. And then when you write at a lower angle, it will give you a broad to double broad line, depending on, how you sort of hold that pen. And also there's, I think, a medium version of it, medium to broad version of it. So really when you get a nib ground, depending on your starting nib, like whether you're doing it on a medium broad or double broad, that will sort of dictate what the line variation will look like when it's done. So that's what the perspective was. Yeah, Gina is great. Gina's work is amazing, and I think that's why they're so popular, right? That's why the appointments go so quickly. Oh, and Minky Love, that was you. Oh, nice to meet you. It's just funny because I met a lot of people in person at the show, and when like we introduce each other, or like, oh, hi, my name is Corolla, and they're kind of like, oh, okay, and I'm like, but my username is this, right? So like my username is close to my name, it's from Corolla, but a lot of people have usernames that you wouldn't guess what their name was from that. And so I had a lot of people kind of being like, oh, this is my username, and I'm like, of course, like we've chatted a million times, I know you, right? But obviously putting a face to a username and a name is super, super fun and always blows me away because I'm like, I have talked to you so many times and you're amazing and nice to meet you. Ah, yeah. You should buy some when you see them. Yeah. Next time. But like, honestly, you know, next time, not all nib specialists carry nibs that they have pre-ground. Like, I don't want to say that as an assumption for everyone, but some do. And now that I know, right, like if you go to a pen show or you see a nib specialist at an event, it's worth asking not only to test if they have testers, so you can try out their nib grinds, but also it's worth asking if they have some for sale in case, you know what you want and you want to try it out later because you don't have time or whatever, then it's worth picking it up. Bailey. Yeah, that's awesome. So some names make sense with their usernames and some don't, but yeah, no worries. If you have any other questions about like nib grinds or nib specialists or, you know, how that process sort of works, definitely feel free to ask me. Like I said, this was my 4th pen show and I have gotten nib grinds at all pen shows so far from various different people. I don't know if I've gotten a nib ground by everyone, but I have frequented nib specialists. So, and the other thing you can do with a nib specialist too, like Kirk, for example, is great for this, is you can go up to them and sign up for an appointment at a later time. But you can also bring pens that you want ground, but you don't know what you want to ground to. So feel free to do that too, because one, you can test out their nib grinds beforehand. Like, you know, obviously take a seat at their table when you have time and it's not your appointment, so you're not rushed. But try out their nib grinds that they have as testers. And you can also talk to them about your writing style, the pen that you have, so the nib size. And then they can sort of ask questions and get a feel for what kind of grind would work for you. So, you know, you may want a nib that is great for cursive. You may want a nib that you want to have fun with, hand lettering, calligraphy, doing headers, or you just want, you know, like a smooth writer. So yeah, it's definitely worth talking to them. If I pick a nib from a nib specialist, will it fit into Zodiac pen? Sorry, I think it froze a little bit. So if I pick up a nib from a nib specialist, yeah, it should fit a Zodiac pen. It's worth asking Bart, but I think he uses like the number 6, like Yovo typical setup. So you should be able to interchange the nibs, but definitely double check because I don't have a Zodiac pen, sadly. Oh, you're here. Bart's lurking. Bart, you're the best person to answer this. If I pick a nib from a nib, so if like, what nibs do you use? Can I interchange a number 6? Yes, any Yovo number 6 will fit my pen. So that is the other reason why I love getting pens that will let you interchange nibs. So like Zodiac pens being one of them, but there are a lot of, you know, maker pens and also like manufactured pen, like regular or not regular, popular brands. Some of those pens you can interchange a number 6 Yovo sort of typical nib. Not all though. So it's definitely worth double checking. But if you can interchange a nib, you can, you know, buy a ground nib, or you can get a nib grind on like a stock nib. So if you buy a number 6 like broad or double broad, those are my sort of go-to if I don't know what grind I want, because with a broad and double broad, you can get most grinds. Just because there's so much tipping on the nib that the nib specialist can work with. If you get, you know, a stock, you know, extra fine or fine, then you're sort of limited on the kind of grinds that you can get on those pens. So definitely, yeah, say hi to Bart, because Bart is really friendly and really fun to talk to. and his pens are amazing. So stocking your table. I felt like I was stocking the Zodiac Pens table because I sort of did loops around the show, looking at things and buying things and stuff. And I always sort of ended up there. And so, you know, Bart and I had quite a few conversations. Okay, so the nib grind that I got. Let's talk about that. Here we go. So the nib grind that I got was on this Leonardo Momento Zero collab pen with Stilo and Stile in Italy. This was their Black Friday pen in 2024. It's called Kintsugi, and it's gorgeous. It is gorgeous. I was showing someone at the show, a few people at the show, because in person, this pen is so gorgeous. Let me see how, there we go. It has these gold flakes within the acrylic. Like, it's so gorgeous, and the way it catches the light is just really, really nice. And I love the concept behind it, of, you know, taking cracks and making them beautiful. Not literally, because there are no cracks in this pen, but sort of the idea of mending cracks and making something beautiful with gold. And so I think that was sort of the idea behind this pen from Leonardo and Stilo and Stile. And yeah, so anyways, I got this. It came with I picked a broad stock nib on there, and I ended up talking about like different types of nib grinds. I ended up getting a reverse architect from Gina. So if you don't know what that is, on like writing on the right side, it's going to be a broad nib, because I do like broad just for regular, you know, taking notes. But if you write with the reverse, so if you write like this, you get an architect line. So an architect is a thin line down and a wider line across. And it's great for headers. It's great for like block writing, block print. And so if you sort of have that style, or you, like for me, I like using it as like things in my journal to like draw attention to. So whether it's headers, or if I'm yelling at my page or just like emphasizing something, quotes, things like that, I like to use a different style of writing just to give it some interest. And the reverse architect is a great way of having like two nibs in one, right? Because on the right side, I can write in my regular broad sort of print writing. And then if I need to write, like whenever I want to sort of emphasize something, I can use the reverse to write in architect. So I will do writing samples with the pens that I got. So I will ink this up, and I will do a writing sample to share what it looks like. And maybe that's my next live stream. I can ink up my pens, and I can show you my currently inked pens, and we can do just writing samples, drawing samples together, but we'll see. So I'm excited to use that. I make you laugh. I bought a Zodiac Cancer model. Oh, nice. Yeah. You see, this is what happens. You have no plans to buy pen, but Bart convinces you. Yeah, I was so tempted. I said this in the outset, but I was so tempted to get the Capricorn pen, because not only was it gorgeous, right? But like the model itself was like really, really like, it was really nice. Like I held it and I thought, you know what, not only like it's a Capricorn pen, which I am. So it's like just a connection, right? To your sign, to the model. And you don't even have to be that sign, and you could still really want that pen. So I was very tempted by Bart, but I had already purchased a few things, and I can't wait to try them out at a future show. Maybe Portland, maybe SF. We'll see what I walk away with. You have, fountain pen news. You have a Virgo on his commission list. Oh, you have, okay, that's amazing. You have Virgo. Okay. I don't know if I remember what the model looked like, but that's amazing. Yeah, Bailey, that's the thing. When no one is stopping you from doing anything, honestly, it's like you can get up to no good. Amazing. Ooh, your sister is gonna go with you to Chicago. Ooh, yeah. Say it's a girls trip. Oh, I know, just, oh, we're just gonna hang out. And then next thing you know, you're buying a plotter, Bailey, and Bart's pens. You have 5? Plan with Shelly. Plan with Shell. I think it's Shelly, right? You have 5 of Bart's pens. That's amazing. That's amazing. So you really like them. That's awesome. The Monarch. The Monarch that I want, is it the new CI? Yes, it could be. I do love the CI. I also tried the Reverse Architect. Someone had it at the show, and I tried the Reverse Architect on a Monarch, and oh, I am in love. Like, it is literally so good. It writes so nice. Have you tried the mini stub in the Monarch? Because, yeah, like all of those nibs are really, really good. A custom blank by Tim. Oh, okay. Oh, it's a custom by Tim at Turnt Pen. That's amazing. Virgo is similar to the size in an SD. That's like my kind of size. I love SDs. I love the size of an SD. That's amazing. You'll be trying, Alimal. Yeah, you try all the Monarchs, and it will be dangerous. Like, it's like you have to choose between certain things, right? Like, you have to choose between going to the plotter table, going to Shown Design, like, just, because you're either going to walk away with a plotter, a Monarch, or other things. There's so many good things there. Yeah. Hi, Dustin, you're back. We missed you, of course. You're always welcome. And yeah, Dustin is Dustin is fun. I loved hanging out with Dustin and Annabelle too. That vibe that they both have, like you know what I'm talking about if you know. The back and forth banter. That's what I mean. The back and forth banter was so entertaining and so nice to be part of. Does Shown sell a Reverse Architect standard, or do you have to get it ground? I don't actually know, because the one that I tried was from someone who had a Monarch, so I don't actually know if they got it ground or if that was like available. So, and Zodiac Pens will be at Atlanta. In Atlanta. It's a busy spring, yeah. And you're doing DC and SF too, right? Like DC and SF, like DC is a super show, right? Mega show. SF is a really, really big show, like very, very fun and also very big. So it's going to be a lot. Dustin, you have every size of the Monarch now except the big stub. What? Did you bring any to California? Like, did you bring any to LA? Because I would have loved to try them all. Next time, though. Next time I'll try them. P&W, DC, and SF. Oh, yeah, you're going to be super busy. But, like, you might you'll have fun. You might as well dive right in. Reverse Architect is on the fine, and the mini cursive italic. Oh, I see. Oh, okay. So it's ground like that. Like, that's what the nib is. Ah, that's amazing. Ugh. Okay, so I will talk about one of my pen purchases. So I got a nib ground on a pen that I already owned, the Leonardo. I got a Reverse Architect on it, and I can't wait to play around with that. So I'm very, very happy with that grind. Usually I do, like, in SF and previous shows, I have gotten a few pens ground, but I feel like I'm almost at a point where I kind of know what I want to use, and I have grinds that I can interchange into pens if I want to. So I'm sort of at the point where like I'll try new grinds, or like variations of grinds from different nib specialists, but I'm kind of, I'm good with the amount of pens that I have, and I'm only adding a few here and there. And so when I do, maybe I'll get a nib ground or I'll interchange a nib that I already have. And so that's all to say that I wish I had I could go to all the nib specialists and get all nib grinds and all those things, because even just watching a nib specialist at work or sitting at their table and watching them do their thing, like sitting at Annabelle's table, talking to Dustin and watching Annabelle do grinding, different types of grinds, was super interesting and really fun to be part of. And I wish I could, get more grinds and support them all. But, it is what it is. You support who you can, and support makers if you can. And, at the very least, engage with them, share their work, show them some love, and talk to them. Let them, talk about their products. Like I talked to Bart about, just like how the different pens that he has and the lineup and stuff like that, what he's working on. Just because they get so, I love to be part of that excitement, right? I love to know what to look forward to and what they're working on. And the other table I had to go to, I have a Skogsy pen that's a baby Saguaro, which I should get because I want to tell you the whole story. So hold on one second. I'm back. So I have a baby Saguaro, which is made of Ultim material, and I got this in SF last year. And it is Ultim black, very, very sleek, right? And I put a Franklin Christoph, it's interchangeable nibs, so I put a Franklin Christoph number 6 double broad sig, which is ground by Audrey for Franklin Christoph. And so I added that because it's like the Black Raven finish. And the ink that I have in here is Platinum Chokuro, which is like the blackest of all black inks. And this pen is dedicated to that ink, basically. So it's very cute. It's so adorable, right? Super cute. And if you get a baby Saguaro from Skogsy has these mini pen sleeves from Rickshaw, right? And it has the surfboard, like that's his design. It has that. Super, super cute and very handy. Like this, barrel and time. Agreed. Beautiful, right? It's gorgeous. Yeah. I mean, everyone's super busy, but so at the show, I went to the Skogsy table. And I just kind of like talking to Zach. I like talking to makers in general, just about like the pen lineup, like what they brought to the show. And I just kind of go like, tell me about your pens, what do you have? And so Skogsy was telling me about the different pens that he had. If you were there or you saw Brad's recap or other people got a low volume eyedropper, because Skogsy has a lineup of them that he makes. So if you're into eyedropper pens, but you don't like, you sort of want it low volume because you don't like them burping, there's a whole thing about them, right? But so I was tempted to get one, but then he showed me this, it's called a Choya 60 millimeter. So it is a chunky pen, right? You can kind of tell in my hand, especially. Like I have small hands, so like this is a big pen, but it is ebonite, black, and I hope you're ready for this because look at that. Yeah, she's thick. She's got a lot working for her, and she's on fire Also lava. I don't like, wow, right? That is fire. That is just like, you don't expect that, right? It's just this sort of like big chunky black like pen that's nondescript, it's sort of just doing its thing. Uh-oh, I may have dropped. Can you still see my screen? Okay, that's weird. My live screen is like just blank, so I don't know. So yeah, it's like nondescript, right? It's just like a big black pen, like whatever, ebonite though, so it is nice. And Dustin, whoa, whoa! I was not expecting that. Like when I unscrewed the cap, because Skogsy was like, or Zach was like, you need to see what's underneath that. So yeah, I unscrewed the cap and I was like, whoa, like just blinding, like the fire. And the thing that I love about the details that Zach puts into his pens is like, he lines up the different parts of the pen so that it makes sense. Like it's very pleasing to the eye, right? There's a little bit of black that sort of continues into the grip section. And then there's a little bit of black here, but like it just goes so well together, right? So yeah, it's very nice. And what you can do with some makers, when you're getting a maker pen, is you can tell them you don't need the nib, right? Like I didn't need another stock nib. I have a ton of nibs. And I like interchanging them. So as long as it takes a number 6 Yovo, I'm good, right? I have a lot of ground nibs that I can use. And so I told Zach I don't need a stock nib because I had a nib with me that I just wanted to put into it. This nib is from Skogsy. If you can see, it's engraved. There's a surfboard on the nib. So it's an engraved surfboard. And business on the outside, party inside. And you know what? It's sort of like inside party, right? No one will know. Reverse mullet pen. Like no one will know because they're kind of like, that's just whatever, and then you start using it and it's like, yeah, the party has arrived. Like, here we go, right? So this nib I had actually gotten in the baby saguaro last year, and it's a broad nib that Annabelle ground into a CI. So it's a broad CI that I love. It writes beautifully, and so I just put it into this pen. So yeah, it is a super, super cool. It is a number 6. Yeah, number 6 Yovo. And so the whole thing too is, ask the makers if you can touch their pens. But Zach was like, yeah, hold it, because I honestly was going to walk away. Like I wasn't going to get it because I thought, whoa, like this is a chonky pen. And all my pens are, slimmer. Like I don't have really big pens. Maybe the Benu is sort of like the biggest pen I have, but also their grip section isn't like, it's actually pretty slim if you have a Benu. And so I asked, Zach how it sort of felt writing, and he was like, yeah, hold it, pretend you're writing something. And so when I held it, it just feels really nice. Like it looks really big, but I think it's well balanced. And I think the way that it sort of nestles into, the wrist curve here, it doesn't feel intrusive in any way. Like it doesn't feel like I'm holding a big chunky pen. And the grip section is actually pretty like comfortable to hold. It's not as, big and bulky. So yeah, I'm very happy with this. It's a very cool pen, and I can't wait to ink it up and write with it and do a writing test. So I think the last thing I have is I was talking to Mark at Rickshaw. Mark designs great rickshaw sleeves and pouches and things like that. So I was talking to him and he said, go over to Kirk's table, Pen Realm, and ask him to show these tester sleeves that he has. And I was like, okay. So I went over and backstory, a year ago at the California Pen Show last year, after the show, Kirk and I were talking and he commissioned a floral design from me that he wanted to use as stickers or, other things. And so I designed, sticker design for him or a floral design for him. And so he made it into a sticker initially. So this is what the design looks like. Pen Realm pens. I know. Pen Realm is dangerous too if you go over to his table. But this is the sticker design. Or this is the design that Kirk had printed out into stickers. And so, yeah, I love that, right? And literally this is like Kirk's colors and it goes so well with his brand because this is his brand, right? So it's brand colors. So anyways, I went over to his table and I was like, you have some like tester sleeves or something to show me. And he was like, yeah, look at this. So that design is now on sleeves, right? That's awesome. So I love the color combo. They sort of, worked on getting the green to complement the flowers, to complement, his, thanks, Miss G's. Yeah, amazing. Like, I was blown away because I think this looks amazing. I think this looks really, really nice. So I'm really happy for Kirk. He had these out like at the show. I think he had a few that you could get. So obviously I caught one. And then I saw in the wild, like a couple of people had, I think they had like the 3-pen sleeve and then they had a roll and they had the single sleeve too. But I thought that was really cool. And Kirk was just testing it at the pen show, but I told him to make more because I ended up posting it on Instagram without realizing they were just like prototypes basically. And I had people messaging me asking if they could get this online. So long story short, I think Kirk's going to make more for future pen shows or also it might be available online. So yeah, I thought that was really nice. So there's a little bit of my florals. Anyways, so I had to get that. And then my last purchase is a pen that I want to show you. And I saved this for last because it's kind of a surprise pen. It's a vintage Parker Maxima made in England from the 50s or 60s. And I got this from Mad Mercantile. So Mike is one of the vintage pen dealers that comes to a lot of the shows. And I like sitting at his table because you could kind of do this with a lot of the vintage dealers is you can sit at their table and just kind of chat about pens, chat about like what kind of pens you like. And if you don't know, what size you like, whether or not you have a preference for nib. And then they sort of ask questions and then they basically show you a few pens that they think you would enjoy. And so that's what Mike does. He also has some pens inked at his table and he's very low-key down to earth. And I have modern pens. I'm a modern pen collector and I only have like 4 vintage pens, I think. And so I'm a little bit, I wouldn't say intimidated, but I don't know a lot about vintage pens and I'm aware of that. And so I don't mind, chatting about it as long as they are willing to, chat about, teach me basically, talk about vintage pens in terms that I could probably understand. And so that's what I love about Mike is that he sits there and he talks to you about the pens that he has available, asks questions, lets you try some pens that he has inked up. And so we talked about, pen versus nib, what's more important to me in a vintage pen. Last year at the California Pen Show, I got a pocket Conklin Mark Twain crescent filler. It's all black and it's a pocket pen and it's like all black. So it's like really nice, very gorgeous. very nondescript, but also it's a crescent filler, so it's like really interesting. Mad Mercantile. And it's Mike who runs that table, who's Mad Mercantile. And so anyways, this is a Parker Maxima made in England. And I got it because not only do I love the color, but the nib is a 14 karat gold left oblique. I don't have a left oblique nib. But you can see here the slant. So it's sort of like it's like a stub or like a italic nib, but it's cut so that you sort of have to orient your pen a little bit. Oh, it's so pretty. It's gorgeous. And so I tested it and I wrote with it, and it's very interesting to write with. Like I said, I don't have a left oblique, and I think you do sort of have to orient paper or your hand to get the optimal line for this. But I'm excited to ink it up and test it and try it. And I love that, like, this nib is the whole pen is in great condition. And so Mike he basically said, like, he got it from someone, he thinks that it was one of those pens that shops kind of use, like, to show, but then it ends up in the back of the store or something, because it is in such great condition. Like, there's really nothing, like, there are no scratch marks, or where you're kind of like, you're just throwing a pen around, like you're using it, so you're gonna kind of get those marks from being used. And this one doesn't. And it is an aerodynamic filler, so you have to push this to get the ink into the sack. And because it's not stained, like, it's like transparent, you can see right through it, so it's obviously not used as much. And the blue is just from ink that we had tested. But so yeah, looks new. Yeah, and that's what Mike said as well. From the 50s, 60s, like, totally new. That's amazing, right? So yeah, that was my second. That I was gonna say, wait, I think I bought another pen. It's sitting right here. That was my second pen purchase. And yeah, I agree, Miss G's. Like, he had two, so he had gotten two, this one and a green one, and he said, I think he got it, he had showed it at the Philly show. So he had it at his table at the Philly show, and the green one sold pretty much right away. But this one sat there, and he was like, I don't know why, it's in like pristine condition, basically. And so when I went at the California Pen Show, he's like, after we talked for a little bit, he's like, I think I have the pen for you. And I was like, yeah, you do. That's the pen. I need that for my vintage collection, which is very new, but I'm adding to it. So, yeah, it's in great condition. You found a 60s Esterbrook that was a lot more beat up. Yeah. And Esterbrook's are, somewhat easy to find. Vintage Esterbrooks too. So it really is, like, I think with vintage pens, for me, it's about having a rapport with the dealer and the way that they talk about the pens, but also the way they sort of explain the pens to me, because I am new to vintage pens and I don't have a lot of vintage pens. And so, like, it's kind of having that relationship of, like, engaging and talking about it and feeling comfortable looking at their vintage pens and stuff. And so, yeah, I would highly recommend talking to Mad Mercantile. There are other vintage dealers too at pen shows that are amazing, that love talking about the pens and the stories behind those pens, right? I love that. I love hearing what, is the story behind a pen, if they know, and if they don't, what they think, where it was used or in what time frame it was used. So those are all, great things. This is my last purchase. And this, I was 100% not getting a sailor. Like, I have a few sailors and I love them. I have a medium fine, a medium, and a broad Sailor Pro Gear Slim models. So I'm kind of good in terms of the different types of nibs that I like from Sailor. But then, yeah, Miss G's, loving the history on vintage pens. I find that I connect more with vintage pens if they have some sort of story, or if I can sort of, like if they have something attached to it, right? It just makes them more interesting. And they should. They're vintage pens. They always have a story. They've been around for a while. So the story is important. Yeah, I think we all agree on vintage pens, and the allure of them is that they have a story and something to connect with. So I went by the Itoya Studio table, and this is the other reason why I love pen shows, is that you can try pens that you probably haven't tried before, and also there are some good deals to be had. So the Itoya Studio table, they had a show special, and I think they called it a super sale on a couple of their Sailor pen models, and one of them was the soda pop model. If you know what that looks like. If you don't, I will show you, because I ended up getting a standard, like a Pro Gear standard 21K gold nib. This is like the regular size Pro Gear versus a slim, which is slightly smaller, and it's a 14 karat, I think. This one is a 21 karat with a music nib. So I don't have a music or coarse nib from Sailor. I did try it out at the show, and I like the stubby lines of it. So that's what it basically is. That's sort of like it's a stub from Sailor. But I tried it out, and I like it. And I can't wait to ink it up and try it out. But the reason why I love this pen is because it is gorgeous. Yeah, Penguin's Creative. Honestly, this is why I didn't plan on getting a Sailor, because I have Sailors. Like, for me, I'm not one of those people that collects like certain pen brands. So if I have a few of them, it's probably because they have different nibs, or, you know, the design may speak to me, which I totally understand. Some people collect Sailors, and those people are not me, but I totally get the allure of them. Like, I totally get the aesthetics of the different designs and stuff, right? They're gorgeous pens. And so, yeah, I don't ever plan on buying another Sailor, but if you're going to buy a Sailor and you're going to get a good deal on it for a 21K nib, in this colorway, like, this is such a gorgeous, shiny, sparkly. I love teals, blues, and greens. So the color, the shade spoke directly to me. I legit, like, so when I went up to their table, because someone else had mentioned that they were doing a sale, I didn't actually see it until someone mentioned it. And I was like, oh, I'll go check it out. They only had a couple of different nib sizes, and one of them was the music nib. And so I thought, hey, this is my chance to try, to own a Sailor nib that I don't have, in a size that I don't have, and in a colorway that I love. So, oh, Tom, you had your Sailor music nibs ground by Gina to smooth it out. Okay. All right. Yeah, I'm excited to try it out. And, if I need to get it adjusted, that's fine. But also, I think with Sailors, and my other Sailors too, they're not like everyday pens for me. They are, when, the mood strikes, I sort of pull out a Sailor or whatever pen, and I ink it up, and I enjoy it. I enjoy it for that. Fishy Flora, thank you for following. Thank you so much. And welcome. So yeah, that's sort of my thought. 21K nibs are too springy for me. Bart, oh, okay. Oh, you use a lot of writing pressure, apparently. How did you find this out? Did someone tell you this? Or you were just like, no, I do damage, maybe. Yeah, I think it does depend on your writing style, and it does depend on writing pressure sometimes, right? Like some nibs are they behave differently for people. Bailey doesn't like pilot nibs. I'm just kidding. Sucker for anything sentimental. I know. I totally get it. My thing is, I love modern pens. And actually, I started with modern pens, and I found that I love maker pens. I love independent maker pens because, like, talking about stories and talking about process, I find you get a lot more out of it. Like, they're not, manufactured pens where you can get a lot of them and, like, they're gorgeous. You can get them in different grinds, that's wonderful. But when you're talking to an independent maker, you're getting that story behind, why does, what makes them want to make pens, but also, why do they make it in that model that they, it's so unique, right? So, why does Bart make the models that he makes? It's so interesting to find out. You keep bending your 18K Visconti? Bart. Yes, you need to be gentle with those. Oh, Sailor is going to Chicago. No, Penguin's creative. I mean, I don't know if you want to go to their table, even if they're going to be there. You may want to steer clear. Or, see if they have a sale or something that you like. I'm so bad. I will obviously enable you. That's what I'm going to do. So you need to go and check out their table. And then you need to let us know what they have available. Yeah, you'll be working. You'll be so busy. But you did get some time to look around, right? Were you able to go to the tables that you wanted to check out, or were you kind of just super busy? Because, the plotter TN tables were as busy as expected. Uh-oh, yeah. Bad news that they're going to be there. You love maker pens, Bailey. Yeah. Oh, don't tell Bart to enable you, Bailey, because he's going to be ready for you. As soon as you walk up, he's going to be like, "Look at my pens, Bailey." No, Bart is great to talk to. Zach is great to talk to from Skogsy. They're all Michaela from White Bear Pens. I didn't end up getting a pen, but honestly, once you talk to the makers, I love getting the backstory of how they started or what sort of drives them to make pens, right? And also what makes them make the pens the way they do, the process or the design of them. And then just the different colorways they use, the different blanks they use, you're the least pushy pen. I feel like Lisa, who was working at the Zodiac Pens table, was way pushier. And I like Lisa. Lisa's really fun. But she was like, "Oh, if you like that, then you would probably like this." And then it's I gotta go. Because if I stick around for another minute, I'm getting something. The pens sell themselves. The pens do sell themselves. They are, they're gorgeous. And then also the pen sleeves and pouches that you had, Bart, at your table. Sometimes, for example, Skogsy, right? Zach will give you a pen sleeve with the purchase of a pen. But Bart had all these pouches and other things, accessories, and that can also it can also be dangerous, but also it's I kind of I need pen pouches, I need pen sleeves and things, so why not, right? Yeah, look at this pen. Here's the story behind the pen. And also when they say "Oh yeah, you can touch it, you can hold it," don't fall for that, because once you touch it and you hold it, and then you're because when you look at it, you're "Oh, it's too big. Oh, it's, like, great, whatever. And then they're like, oh no, unscrew the cap, hold it, feel it. And you're like, okay, yeah. Doing a test drive. Exactly. And with maker pens, because we're like, if you go into it as a pen person and chunky. Yes, Mark, it is chunky. It's a very chunky pen, and it's way chunkier than the baby Seguero from Skogsy. Right? But they go so well together. Autumn and Ebonite. Looks like makeup. I know. See, it is like, what is this mascara? I don't know. It's just like, but turns out they're pens. Pen people. Rich at River City. Don't get me started on Rich. Rich and I are friends. So I troll him sometimes, but he sends me messages and he's like, oh, look at, like, I have a few nib holders from Rich because I love them. I love his design of nib holders. You want a nib holder. If you've seen my videos or even my last live stream VOD, I used a mini nib holder from Rich, and I have a few other nib holders. I love Rich's nib holders. They are very comfortable and very pretty, and every once in a while he'll send me posts of like him working on nib holders, and I'm like, no, go away. I'm not gonna get any more. But I will probably, like, I want a pen from Rich too, right? Like, I want all these maker pens because they're gorgeous. Oh, you got a green Operex. The Operex material is amazing. Like, really, any colorway in that material is like pearlescent, or, it is gorgeous. Yeah. I need to get a pen from Rich. I need to get a Zodiac pens. I need to get a pen from Michaela, White Bear pens. I need to get a Monarch nib. Like, after a pen show, what I usually do is, probably starting at the pen show, I start to make a wish list for the next pen show. And it could be things that I saw at the current pen show that I, for whatever reason, didn't purchase or couldn't purchase, budget wise. And so I added to a wish list for a future pen show. And sometimes, I just kind of, I have a wish list. It just gets updated every now and then. And Rich I don't think he does the California Pen Show. He didn't do last year. He didn't do it this year, even though I tried very hard to get him to come. But he does a lot of pen shows. So, you can find him at a lot of different shows. Usually he's at the SF Pen Show. If you're going to that one, Tom, he is planning to be there. So you can get a pen from Rich and you can get a pen from Bart. and Skogsy too. I think Skogsy's going to be in SF, maybe. But yeah, you can start to, right? Like, you can start to collect maker pens because they are amazing and they're all unique and they all have like their own different stories, right? Like, the makers put their stories into their pens, and we're talking about vintage pens having stories, but maker pens have stories too. And I find vintage pens have stories from the past, right? Most of them. And some of them you can, like, the dealers will know the stories, and sometimes you don't, and you sort of guess depending on the condition and what kind of pen it is and how it may have been used in the past, what those stories are. But maker pens have modern stories, and they have personal stories, and those are great stories. Like, those are also the best kind of stories, is that they're personal, they're human, right? And they connect you to someone who puts passion into making their pens. I can go on a whole tangent on maker pens and why I love them so much, and why I'm, like, as a modern pen person, I love the Sailors, and I love the typical modern pens, But for me, I think the pens that mean a lot to me personally are pens that are made by someone who put a lot of passion and thought into them, and they tell me about the different materials and how they came up with the design or why they sort of added elements to it. And pairing those with nibs that write really well, whether you get it ground to something or you interchange it with nibs, and you can sort of, like, it's kind of like making your own pen, right? Like, you can actually commission pens, but you can also buy a pen that they have available and then add the nib that you want, and it becomes the pen for you. You bought a pen from Hibachi. Oh, a Ranga demonstrator. I've heard of Rangas and I have never tried one. I don't have one either. Oh, that's interesting. That's very cool that you were able to ask Zach too, that he knew what it was and stuff. Yeah, that's awesome. And do you like it? Do you enjoy it? At the Pen Show After Dark, we were talking about collecting nib professionals like Pokemon. Olive Octopus ink, yes. The same goes for pen makers, right? Like, I need to do like a YouTube video or like share the different pens I have from makers. I don't have all of them, right? Like, I'm trying to collect them all. Like Pokemon, but I don't have them all, but I do really, really enjoy them. And yeah, I have to sort of do an inventory of all the different maker pens that I have. Yeah, that's so funny. The first pen I got from Bart was a whole giant web of story. Oh. Yeah, exactly. Like, and you'll always remember that, right, Lisa? Like, the story behind, like, that sort of brings it all together, right? Like, yeah, I think you sort of start at one point and you go to, and you'll remember this. And I think looking at a pen will remind you of that and will always sort of give you this good feeling, or you have some sort of emotional attachment to it in that way, versus like, and this is I've gone through all of my purchases. I've gone through everything that I got at the pen show. So if you have any questions, or if you joined late and you sort of have questions about things, let me know. Feel free to ask, and I can chat for a little bit longer, and then I have to hop off. But like, let me know if you have questions or want to share your own like pen stories or pen show stories. But in recap, I think for me, getting a pen from a pen show has so much more meaning and emotional attachment to it than if I just ordered it, right? So like, or even if I get a nib grind, like having Gina grind my Kintsugi, which, by the way, I got this in this December last year for myself for my 40th birthday. And that's why the whole concept of making something beautiful from, like scars or breaks, when something's broken and you mend it with gold, that whole traditional process really spoke to me, because like, obviously it speaks to my life as well. But having it ground by Gina in person into a nib that I will use, always and have fun with, because it is a Leonardo pen and a Leonardo nib, and now it's made even more special by Gina, and I 100% appreciate that. And I think it means so much more to me than if I had just, purchased these pens online, not just the maker pens, but like, just like a sailor, buying a sailor online from a retail shop. It means a lot more to me talking to people at the show, even if it's a retailer, right? Like, they're showing me the different nibs and letting me try them, and then I end up with a pen that I really enjoy. But especially with maker pens, like talking to the makers at pen shows or an event and getting them to show you their different models in their lineup, and then choosing one that speaks to you after you've held it or looked at it, and you're like, for some reason, you feel attached to something, even though if I saw this online, I probably, like, this wouldn't be my first choice per se, just because, you know, my assumption would be it would be too big for me. But seeing it in person and trying it out and holding it, and having that connection with the maker in that way is, for me, like, the greatest thing. You've been thinking a lot about kintsugi. Yes, it's a beautiful pen. And Lisa, this is my first Leonardo. I don't have any Leonardos because they are beautiful. They're also pricey. But this is my first Leonardo. And I had sort of been, at the last SF Pen Show, I was very tempted to get a Leonardo, but I realized that it was because I just wanted a Leonardo. And I don't really want to buy pens because I just want that, like, brand, right? So I happen to have an eye out for models that I like from Leonardo, and this one came up as a Stilo and Stile collab, and I thought, yeah, like, this speaks to me. I love the design. I love the gold. And then I paired it with Robert Oster Honeybee. It is perfect. Like, it is such a good pairing, those two. It is also great ink. Honeybee is like my favorite. Is my favorite yellow. It's like a yellow brown. So, yeah, Miss G's 100%. There's so many more memories attached to a pen. When you get it in person, like when you talk to the person who made the pen or, you know, put their passion into it. That's for sure. And that's why you love this community, Bailey. It is the best community. Yeah. I know. So Olive Octopus, yeah, you have some really pretty sailors, but using that pen reminds me of friends. Like, I've missed a few messages. Pen Addict Brad and Kirk from Pen Realm didn't know, so I left it. Oh. Has a huge number. 8. Whoa, an 8 nib. A Magna Carta with an ebonite feet. Very juicy and a fun writer. Wow, yeah. Number 8s are pretty big. Anyways. Yeah, for sure. It's worth waiting until you find a pen that speaks to you and one that you're like, you know what? Yeah, that's the one for me. Or you never know. You might run into it again and then you'll know that you want it, right? I like the Soda Pop Sailor. I've seen it before. I actually thought was very, very gorgeous when it came out. I didn't get one. I didn't need a sailor, but sometimes there's a deal or something that's sort of like you try it, you see it in person or you try it out and then you're like, you know what? I want to add this to my collection. So, Penguins Creative is going to go to Chicago and probably end up with another sailor because this is how things go. Sometimes you see things in person and you're like, well, you know, it all lines up and you end up with another pen. Oh, Zodiac Pens, the Leo model will have a number 8 nib. Okay, and when did you say, do you have a time frame for when the Leo model will come out, Bard? Bailey's giving you your money. I want to try it out, and I'm for sure intrigued. I'm also intrigued in the other pens, so. Yeah. Tom, 100%. I love all sailors, right? Like you can't really go wrong with a sailor model. Like most, I'm not gonna say all probably, but a lot of sailor pens are gorgeous, right? The design, amazing, but also the price is something you need to keep in mind. And when they said super sale at the pen show, I was like, yeah, like what do you have? Of course I'm gonna take a look, especially because I'm Canadian. So in Canada, these types of pens, sailors, etc., tend to be more expensive. And so when I'm, you know, at a pen show and there's a sale on a pen that is like, whoa, Yeah. You know what? I think it was 130 something, like 135 US for the Pro Gear like standard. So 21K nib. The soda pop, because it was like super sale, so it was like 135, and then some were 99. Yeah, so it depended on the model, like the colorway, and then it depended on the size, so slim versus standard kind of thing. You're in so much trouble. But also, you know, think about, like, I did a YouTube video after my after I went to the California Pen Show last year. I did a YouTube video on my experience at the pen show, but also like some tips, because a lot of times you can get overwhelmed. Like, I got overwhelmed on Saturday because it was so busy, especially when it was like general admission, so everyone I think it was after 11 a.m. and everyone was there and looking, and I got a little overwhelmed, and I was like, I don't need to be here. I already did my shopping on Friday. I'm just browsing and chatting with people, basically. And I kind of had to leave and take a breather. But there are, you know, things to keep in mind. Like, definitely don't feel pressure to buy everything when you see it, unless it's on your wish list as something you absolutely need to have if you find it. And some pens are hard to find, and when they show up in person, it's almost like a sign, like you either get it or you don't, right? If you don't get it, then you risk it being sold. And if you're okay with that, then that's totally cool. If you're not, like, if you're going to regret it not getting it, then I would say consider getting something. But that being said, don't feel pressured to buy all the things as soon as you see them, because especially like maker pens where they have multiple models and multiple amounts, and you're kind of okay with any of the designs. Like, if you're sort of just looking to support a maker and you're okay in getting, you know, any kind of model or a certain colorway, then I would say, you know, think about it, talk to them, chat with them, hang out for a little bit, and then make your decision. And then also keep budget in mind, right? Like, I went in with a budget or like an idea of what I wanted to spend on certain things, and I immediately blew that budget by getting a plotter. I was pretty good. I stayed within what I felt comfortable spending. So I did get a few pens, and I got a plotter, and I got some stationery, but I have a wish list of things I want to check out at the next show for sure. So yeah, all of Octopus. Saturday was kind of a bit much to like take in, especially after Friday. Like, at Friday, I felt like there was good traffic flow. I went, like, most of us went in early, right? And so it was nice to like actually stand at the plotter table and talk to April about, you know, the purple plotter, and deciding whether or not I wanted it, and like touching it, feeling it, and then buying it without feeling like like people are standing behind you, which adds to that pressure of, like, you know, FOMO, like having to buy it now or it'll be gone or something. So I enjoyed that on Friday. And then Saturday I was like, I got a nib grind and I got a workshop done on Saturday, and that was kind of it. And a lot of, like, I just chatted with people. And Minky Love, this was your first pen show. You went on Saturday. Yeah. If you can, like, obviously there's work and other things, but if you can go on the Friday, that would be my recommendation. And if you can also get the early admission tickets, I would definitely say it's worth it, because even if you pay a little bit more to go earlier, and I think it was like going in at 9 a.m. versus 11 a.m., that makes a difference. Like, those 2 hours, I found I actually, if I'm being honest, I probably did most of my shopping in those 2 hours on Friday. So at 9 a.m., I went directly to the plotter table. I went to the Traveler's Company table. And then like the vintage tables, you know, if you're into that. And then also any table that has deals or sales, like Sailor, like the Itoya studio table. And then like the show inks, those types of things where they're probably going to sell out pretty quickly. It's worth spending those 2 hours to like get that out of your system. Get it out of your system. And then you have time to take a look at the other tables, to talk to people. I met a lot of people over the weekend that I had talked to or just like introduced themselves, and it was so much fun. And yeah, like I met makers that I had followed for a little while. I had known about Zodiac pens for a while through other people, Karina, and finally getting to meet Bart in person. Like, don't be too shy to just say like, hi, I'm this person. I follow you on Instagram and I love your pens. And I felt like that was good for Saturday too, just chatting with people. Yeah, Tom, if you can get there early on Friday, I think that would be my recommendation. And workshops, like if you want to take a break from shows, but you kind of still want to be doing something, take a look at classes and workshops. Sometimes they have free seminars and things like that during the day, and sometimes like after the show's done. Definitely worth checking out. Or like all of Octopus, sit in the lobby. Like I did this too. I sat in the lobby. You were sorting your swatch cards. You're an inky wizard. Can I call you that? You're like an ink aficionado is what you are, Lisa. You like all of Octopus Ink knows everything about inks, basically. That like I know. And yeah, you had your ink pony papers, coloring sheets. I love that. Stimulated. Yeah. If you get overstimulated and overwhelmed, and it's a lot of like different, like it's really loud, it got really stuffy. The more people that are there, obviously it gets warmer. So if those are things that make you uncomfortable, or you just don't enjoy, or you're not okay with being in crowds and things like that, definitely think about going early and taking advantage of those early admission times versus going in with the general public. Tom, you left at noon on Saturday. Yeah, I had to take quite a few breaks. Like before the pen show, I sent Brad, the pen addict, like a message, and I was just like, hey, these things get really busy, and I know he gets like he's obviously like everyone knows him, right? So he'll get a lot of people coming up to him, and it's a lot for him too. Like I can imagine, right? Like sometimes you just need to take a break, step away, have a coffee, and I kind of said like, let me know if you need to take a breather. And we kind of did that a few times. And just went to the lobby, had a coffee, chatted. And then other people would join too. Like people who just needed to step away from the show, but didn't want to be disconnected from it. And so like we had people joining us and just chatting about like their purchases. That's how I actually found out about the Sailor pen sale, because someone was like, hey, I got this soda pop pen, and it was, it was really like, it was worth the price. So I ended up going back in and checking it out. Or like all of Octopus Ink had ink swatches, and I love chatting about like, obviously because we're pen people, we're at a pen show, we're like into stationery and things like that. I think we just gravitate towards people who are also like passionate about it, who also like chatting about it. And so we kind of like start to group together, we show up and we're like attracted to each other. And the lobby area in that hotel was a great place to sort of like get a breather, get some air and chat about stuff. And I like that about the SF Pen show too. And I'm sure other pen shows have that too, where it's like you can kind of convene outside of the show floor and chat about your purchases and like just hang out, like do some journaling together or play with pens and inks together. Did you go across the street? Yeah, so I went, I found that having the mall across from the hotel was super convenient because I flew in Thursday night and I ended up going across the mall, across the street to the mall to just like get food. So I felt like that was a good break too. You get outside, get some fresh air. And then we also did dinner a couple of nights, like just walking across, and having all that accessible is super easy. Yeah, a hotel that has a great gathering area. Like I've only been to the California Pen Show and SF, and those two shows have the convenience of a hotel. Like you can stay at the show basically, right? So it's at the hotel where the show is at, and then also both locations have like food options, which I think is super important, and just like places to sort of step away outside and grab what you need, coffee, food, anything like that. Oh, Bart. Yeah, I met so many people that I've talked to online that didn't introduce with their IG handle. Yeah, I think we talked about this. Like, I think I talked to people, and there was Mech Enthusiast, who is like one of a few people that I know from like Brad's community, Brad's Twitch streams, who I've chatted with on the streams or on Slack or on Instagram. And so I know them by their usernames. And I think I've talked to a few people, or like people that I've talked to that after the show are like, oh, by the way, like they'll message, and they're like, oh, by the way, I was that person who you were talking to in whatever situation. And so it's like, oh, in my mind, I was like connecting, faces with a name and then who they are online. So I thought it's funny, but also in the moment you're kind of like, hi, great, let's talk, let's connect. And then later you're like, oh, well, we already know each other, or we've come across each other in some other situation. So it is kind of funny. Yes, please introduce yourself. And then the other, where are my things? Like other ways to sort of make sure that people know who you are, username or the name that you go by, or, that they would maybe recognize. These pins are great. I know people sort of have like name tags too, or like, I don't know if you want to wear a sticker or, just because sometimes when you're talking to people, I found too, you just start talking and you're having a conversation and you're engaging, and then later you're like, oh, like, did I say my name? Like, did I introduce myself in terms of usernames and things like that, Yes, Fountain Pen News, 100%. Message me on IG. We'll do it. Or you could be this person. Where are my oh no, where are my stickers? Hold on one second. I have stickers everywhere, and you could be this person. You could be the banana duck person, Dustin. Because it's unique. No one really knows what a banana duck is. It's this. It is funny, and it's like an inside joke that you want to be part of. And oh yes, you can write your name or handle on both sides of your badge if you don't have a button or something. Exactly. Like write your name on something, or you could like hand out stickers that are unique to you. And so like I will always know this is Dustin. Or you can give out stickers that, like I gave out stickers that had my handle on it. If I remembered. Again, like you have to remember these things, right? I think for most people, I remembered to give them a sticker. Like I sort of had them with me. But, and then just like have a way for them to contact you on social, or, you know, or at least recognize your username so that next time you're chatting or you're messaging, they know. Quack, quack. Oh, you know what it was, Dustin? You were sitting at the table telling people, can I get a quack, quack? And people literally, like as they were getting up to, like they were chatting or whatever, and they were getting up to leave, they were like, quack, quack. And so that's all I heard. I was like, can I get a quack, quack? And then everyone was just like, quack, quack. It was hilariously funny. It was hilarious. It was good. Dustin, you had a package swap. Oh, okay. That's cool, Fountain Pen News. You did a package swap. Oh, I think I missed your question, Bailey. Do we get a badge for the show? Okay, yeah. Olive Octopus said, depends on a show. Sometimes only the weekend pass holder. Sometimes like they have an all access pass or VIP pass. Those are like some options. And I think SF does VIP. So they'll give you a badge. Sometimes maybe a lanyard. And then sometimes they'll have other swag too. Like a tote or a pouch or something. But yeah, sometimes they'll include a badge or at least something that they put that weekend pass in. And so you can either write your name on it with your username, or you can add like your a sheet in there. Some shows have a pin available for that show too. Yeah. Yeah. Oh, Fountain Pen News. Have I seen your stickers? They're distinctive. That's always good. That's always good. Distinctive is always good. Unique is always good. Yeah. Zodiac pens. I will start a logbook. It's equivalent to my stamp in your planner. Oh, yeah. That's a great idea. So you know who came by. Yeah. And actually, yeah. If you have people sort of writing in your logbook, you could also, like if they have a sticker they just want to like put in there. Oh, I don't think I really used this though, but I did carry this with me because sometimes this happens more at like planner conferences or planner like stationery get-togethers or events. People tend to ask you to write in their books, like their sort of like memory keeping books for that show. And you can write a little message for them and then sign off with your name. And so like I keep this because, you know, I just sort of do like a floral doodle, write a quick message, and then I typically just stamp like my name on there. It's just like a fun thing. But also if people are carrying around their stickers, you know, and they're giving these out, or it's something distinctive, you can also just be like, throw your sticker in that book, right? And then you have a little message and then their sticker in the book itself. And then you won't have a bunch of loose stickers lying around. Did I give you a sticker, Bart? I think I might have. But anyways, yeah, forgot a fire on fire samples. Note, I do not actually sell ink. You could have fooled me, Olive Octopus Ink. I feel like you're an ink dealer in the way that we're like, oh, check out my ink swatches of these inks. You know, they look great. And I'm looking at them and I'm like, great. So now I actually took a photo of one of the swatch pages that Olive Octopus has. And I was like, because that page of all those swatches, I think it was your like favorite 2024 inks or something like that, right? And I was like, I need all of these inks because those shades are perfect. Like they are exactly the types of inks I would get. And so I literally took a photo of it because I was like, later I have to look these up and buy the inks that I don't have. Yeah. Yeah. Oh, Olive Octopus, yeah, brought like so much stuff. So the ink swatch books, like there were ink swatch books, binders of ink swatches that were like, if you are into these inks, like on different papers too. That's what I loved. Like seeing what the ink swatches looked on different paper, because it depends on what kind of paper you use too, right? The inks could look a little bit different. So that was amazing. She's an ink pusher. Just like Dustin is a banana duck pusher. An ink pusher. I like that. Home Depot paint department for fountain pen inks. Yes. She's just like swatches after swatches of fountain pen inks. Yeah. You're an ink dealer. That's it. Oh, fountain pen use. You bought one of the the Pink Pony Club pens. I saw that online. They are gorgeous. Yes, congrats. I hope you enjoy. They look gorgeous. I feel like Luke, right? Luke needs to be at a pen show because I don't think he goes to pen shows, but those pens are like, again, like talking about stories and designs. They sold out in 60 seconds. Oh, 100, they're like Gina appointments. um I feel like the design that goes into his pens are amazing, and like having the flowers, the dried flowers and sparkles and everything that goes into those pens, and nib holders too. It's amazing. I would love to like see and touch and experience all the different designs that he has. I know they go super fast too, so it would be like running to his table to try and get something. Painting every room a different color. I hear you. I get it. Your commission just got moved back 3 months. Sorry, fountain pen news. Zodiac pens has spoken. Oh. That's so funny. Yeah, I love that. I love that this community is like so supportive of makers and just like of other pen people. Like I love that, pen people look out for pen people and stationery people too. If you're into stationery and you're into pens and those kinds of things, I love that we look out for each other, and I love that we support each other. It's something that we need, right? It's something like I felt like this past weekend was an escape from routine and just from, daily life. Pen shows for me are like their own little environment. Like it's like entering, the Twilight Zone or something, and you're sort of sucked into this atmosphere of like, it was just so energizing. And I think everyone sort of feels this way when they go to a pen show or one of these types of events where it's like stationery or something where we're really passionate about it. And it's a hobby, but it's also like, it means a lot to us for whatever reason. And I found that at the pen show too, like it was just overwhelming in a good way. Talking to people about something that wasn't like, we do this for fun. We get enjoyment out of it, right? And talking about it and sharing in it. And, people who understand us and understand our nerd, our geekiness. Like we can geek out about inks and pens and all kinds of stationery. And I love that. I've fallen and can't get up pen. Yeah, connection, community. Oh no, you forgot about the drop. Yeah, I know. The good thing is Luke has, like, he makes, I feel like he sort of has like a, not a regular, but you know, like you're bound to find something that you like and you're bound to remember to go online and get it. And one of these days I will too, right? It's just like I love all the designs, but yeah. It's like one of these days I will go to a pen show and I will buy a Zodiac pen. Like it's gonna happen. It's inevitable, because not just because Bart will talk me into it, but it's because I'm gonna see all those pens and I'm gonna say, like, they're so beautiful, I need one. You fell off the cliff. Yeah, we all either we're teetering on the cliff or we have fallen. And I can say for me, I fell off the cliff, yeah, a long time ago. No, a few years ago. But I think only in the last year and a half or 2 years, I've really been into independent maker pens and nib holders. And that's the maker cliff I fell off of. There's a few of us who found this community when we needed it most. All of Octopus, that is probably the best way of saying it. Yeah, for me, it's getting through a pretty rough patch in life over the last few years. Well, I appreciate you, all of Octopus Inc. I appreciate everyone in this community who is inclusive and caring and kind and just like, they just want to share their passion and they're willing to share it. Like, they're willing to open up about it and share their passion. I think we all kind of need that. Whatever we go through in our personal lives, or you know what's going on around us, I feel like having a community that you can turn to who understands that you need an outlet, and are not only supportive of that, but enable you to, you know, there's no judgment, right? Like, there's no judgment. Like, you know, if you get a plotter, or if you get a sailor, or if you spend, you know, a ton of money on like inks or pens, whatever, it, like, there is no judgment, because this is our, you know, this is what gives us joy. This is what gives me joy. I love sharing that. And I love being part of a community that we're all sort of brought together. And we understand each other. I think that's the thing. Like, we're all different people. We have different things going on. But I think at the end of the day, like when we're hanging out in the lobby at the California Pen Show playing with inks, I think that is pure joy, right? That's like us being kids again, playing with more adult things. Lots of love for the pens in the community. Oh, y'all are my gold filling the cracks. Oh, quotes like all of Octopus. I need to write all these quotes down, because that is exactly it, right? This community is like the Kintsugi pen. Filling all the cracks with gold and with all good stuff. Good conversation, good hangouts, good wine at the pen shows. And Twitch. Yeah, pen shows and Twitch. I think I have to have some water. Yeah, pen shows. You don't have to go to a pen show to experience the community the way that it is. I think pen shows are great because, like, again, we're very like tactile people, right? Like, we love touching and feeling things and interacting physically with stuff. Like, we love touching and holding, and you don't need to go to a pen show to get the extras, to get the community vibe. I think pen shows are great for that, and I will continue to go to pen shows because of that. Like, I love stuff, But that stuff means nothing without the people that go to the pen show, that make the pen show what it is. So I will, you can get that stuff anywhere, really. But pen shows are a great way of being part of that community. And apart from physically or, meeting people in real life, which is super fun, I think Twitch, whether you're on Instagram or YouTube or whatever social, and if you can connect with community in that way, I think that's like the next step. That's like the next level up. And Twitch for me, and I think that's why I like, and I will continue live streaming on Twitch. Like, I sort of thought about maybe doing YouTube, but I think I love the Twitch community. I love the vibe. And I love that people bring us together. Like all of Octopus, you have your stream. Brad, obviously, the pen addict, brings a lot of us together. Like I wouldn't have met almost all of you if it wasn't for Brad. And I'll always be grateful for that, because I come from a stationery, like I've been into planners and journals before I got into fountain pens. And so I was part of like planner community, journal community. And I only found out about Brad and the pen addict a few years ago, or probably like longer than that, but I didn't join Twitch. I didn't join the Twitch streams until a couple years back. And when I first joined the Twitch streams too, I kind of, I sat back and just like watched everything and watched chat and realized that everyone in the chat was like so nice to each other, like no one, there are the outliers, but I will say for the most part, there is no like dumb question. Noobs are welcome. I'm still learning. Like I am, by no means do I know everything about pens. And I always, like, I ask questions too. And I loved that, people were just like happy to hang out and talk about pens. And I think that's why I kind of wanted to do my own stream too and continue that vibe. Just started my pen journey. I've always been interested in pens and paper, but it's so much better with the Twitch streams and podcasts. That's exactly it. Hoping to attend my first ever pen show this year. I hope you do, KGAT, Gil. I hope you do, and welcome to the community. I hope you enjoy your journey. I hope you enjoy the cliff, or the view down the cliff, I should say. Yes. You're going to have so much fun. What pens do you have, by the way? What pens have you started with? Or inks? What do you enjoy? Oh, thanks, Miss G's. I'm so glad I joined the Purple app too. I have wanted to live stream ever since the SF Pen Show. Last year, after I did my workshop, a few people kind of mentioned like it would be fun to do painting together in like a casual setting, so like doing it live, and just kind of do it together. And and I wanted to do it after that, and Brad and I talked about it too there, and I think it was Brad who said, you're a great teacher and you would do really well like showing people just on a live stream like how to have fun with inks and paints. And I've been thinking about it a lot, and I finally figured out technology sort of and the setup and stuff. So I think now that I've done it, and I'm like, I need to go, but I don't want to go because it's like I love just hanging out and chatting, and it's like such a chill environment and a chill vibe. And it is definitely like hanging out at pen shows. It's like very, like everyone is really nice and stuff. So I call Brad the lighthouse that directs so many of us here. That's exactly it. Again, all of Octopus, that's exactly like everyone is welcome. We're all inclusive. We're all like all you need to do is enjoy stationery in some way. Like, you don't even have to know much about it. Like, you don't have to be a pen person, you know. If you use a pen, you like pens, do you like stationery, then, you know, come on in, join. But know that we're going to enable you. Know that we're probably going to make you want to buy more pens and stationery and inks, because we can't help but try and, like, you know, share that joy. We are all quirky, Bailey. We are. Oh, I wish I was going to Chicago. But you should if you can. Ooh, your favorite is Platinum 3776 Ultra Extra Fine. Yes. I have an Ultra Extra Fine, a needlepoint 3776, and it is, like, you know, it is writing with a needle, but it is, I actually really, really like it because it's like a point, like, it's like using a very, very thin fine liner or a gel pen, you know, like, it's like getting one of those really, really fine lines. The purple plotter. Yeah. Oh, I love it. It's so nice. It is gorgeous. California Pen Show has more of the show ink in stock for anyone that missed it last weekend. Oh, that's good to know. Thanks, Bart. Dustin is the most nutcase of all. He's a nut. He's a nutty banana duck. Quack, quack. Yeah. Well, welcome. Yeah, needlepoint. Needlepoints are really interesting. And they're not for everyone, right? Like, you have to want to write with a very, very thin line, but they are great. Like, if you want that detailed fine point, needlepoint is your go-to. All right, I have to go. My cat's crying because it's lunchtime. He's also 18, so he's, like, very finicky about his food, which Dustin probably is too. Dustin needed food all the time. Feed me. And I will give Kitty some snuggles. Oh, thank you so much for joining. It was so much fun. I will do this again. My schedule will probably be like a Monday, Wednesday, Friday kind of thing. So any of those days, all of those days, I will update my Twitch schedule, and then also on Instagram, if you follow me at From Corolla, I will put up IG stories just as reminders. I'll try and do this Friday as well, same time. I might do like currently inked, so we'll play with fountain pens, and by then I'll have my new pens inked up and we can go through all of them. Or, you know, like we can chat and play with fountain pens. You can ask questions, or we can chat and I can ask you questions too. And so yeah, this Friday, if you can join, I will probably do it. And then next week, and all of Octopus, are you streaming tomorrow? Because I will join. I have your notifications on, and it's early on the West Coast, but I will come and we can talk inks. I love watching all of the Octopus do inks. I think I did a shout out for you, but I will do another one. And also, Miss G's, do you still stream too? Because I think I saw on Instagram that you had a recent stream, and I will try and join as well, and we can keep chatting, talking about stuff. Yeah, of course. I am figuring some things out on the Purple app. Oh, you'll be on tonight. Okay, so it does depend on time, because obviously, you know, I have kids and things like that, but whenever I can join, I will join. Bless you, West Coder. You know what? It's like the early morning streams I do like, because I watch while I make breakfast for my kids. It's just when I have to do like school drop-offs and things like that that it gets a little hairy. I have to sign off and whatever. Bart, it was really fun. Thank you for joining. Dustin, all of you, thank you so much for joining. Fountain Pen News, send me a message if you're still here. We'll do a swap. And anyone else, if you want a sticker, I have a Ko-fi shop. Check out my stickers there. Or if you want to do like an ink swap or something like that, I am down. I will 100% do that, and I will throw in stickers as well. And yeah, so I will see you next time on your stream or my stream. I appreciate you. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you for being part of the community and for making the community what it is. And go play with stationery. Have fun. Bye.